you guys give me if I kill that bird?
Barbara, that's a bald eagle.
Get away, Baldy! Yeah!
Oh, well. Good evening, and good evening. This is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GubsRadio.com. We are live here at the biggest and the baddest comedy club in all of Long Island, Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, Long Island, New York. Here we are tonight in studio with our pals. We have not Brandon, but Brendan and David from Take Two. Before we get to them, we have some sponsors to cover. And since Steve is not here tonight, he got drafted, picked up on waivers from the New York Mets.
Playing shortstop for the Mets tonight.
No, he's not playing shortstop. He got picked up on waivers.
Center field.
No, DHing.
DHing.
Yes,
okay.
he's going to be the opposite batter to Vogelbach. And what they're going to do is it's going to be something special when you get to see Steve round the bases and come to home on a McNeil double down the line. It'd be very interesting. So we're going to pick up.
He's taking a page out of Babe Ruth's book, and he's going to have 7 hot dogs and 5 beers before he does it.
And 3 grilled cheeses and a beer. We're going to take it away and start it up. Well, it would be exciting to see, that's for damn sure. But no, Steve is going to give us a call in a little later. But for now, Peter's going to have to take it away with Rosie's Draft Solutions.
Rosie's Draft Solution is a Long Island family-owned business providing professional draft beer services, line cleanings, maintenance, draft beer line system installs, event dispensing solutions, and more, like drywall. I hear they install drywall now.
Do they?
They do.
That's amazing.
Yeah. They're passionate about
the whole
craft
thing?
beer.
Like the whole
all of it.
Wow.
Tape, spackle.
That's pretty
Great
good.
mud job. They're passionate about craft beer, making sure it is the same quality as when it left the brewery. That is done by making sure the draft system the beer is being poured from is perfectly clean. So crystal clear and clean. Tom, got it?
Oh, Tom's here, by the way, everybody. Say at a time, our producer extraordinaire, Mr. Tom Santiago, is in the house tonight hanging out. I said, sorry, you can talk now. I said to him this past weekend. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Right. I said to him this past weekend, I said, Tom, we always see you on our road shows. You got to come into a studio show. He hasn't been in the studio in like 4 years. This physical studio hasn't been in 4 years. So I said, you got to come in.
Studio with my bare hands.
Yeah. You did help a little bit, I think. You did, right?
Not with the construction.
No. Did he hold a hammer?
If the show that I produced wasn't on, I don't know if this building would still be open, though.
Right, correct.
Did he shakily hold a flashlight like every kid does for his dad once, praying not to get screamed at?
Don't put a nail through your hand.
Rosie services bars, restaurants, halls, events, and other brewing beverage establishments, including home kegerator installs. They service some of our friends like Hopscotch, our buddies over in Deer Park, 1940s, and Blue Point Brewing over in Patchogue.
Shout out to Charlie. We saw him this weekend.
Yes.
Excited to see what's coming
Fresh out of a Civil War reenactment.
Yeah.
It was good to see him. Musket and all.
He had the little musket balls.
He did,
still stuck in his pocket. One of those little pouches for the gunpowder was hanging out.
He wanted to come back on this fall, and
he wanted to come back on tonight. I think he was asking for to come on tonight.
Would that be like a 10th time we've had him on the show?
Yeah, he's probably number 2 all-time guest.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They service places all around Long Island, Westchester. They have backgrounds in professional brewing. They have a certified Cicerone on staff.
Cicerone.
All flavor detection, and they're here to bring you professional services so you can serve the best quality product while obtaining the best yields from your kegs.
I like a good yield.
Hey, man, you don't want to leave...
talk to Brendan and David about yields.
You don't want to leave beer in the keg. That's leaving money on the table. Fuck that.
You got it.
You can reach them at Rosie's Draft Solutions at gmail.com or call them at 631-219-2075.
Yep, and if you give them a call...
Hey, mention the Wort. Get a little pat in the back, maybe a smack in the ass.
And especially get discount off
Little
your
discount.
service
Little,
and or hardware. So
good hole off the top there.
yeah, Jesus, little attaboy.
A little attaboy.
Yeah, I like that. Go to Rosie's Draft Solutions and tell Nick the Word sent you for your discount today. Tonight we're also sponsored by Brewbag. Brewbag for your beer pong cornhole. Go to brewbag.com or follow our Instagram. And in the Instagram bio there is a link, and that link sends you right to Brewbag, where you can get 10% off your order. Go to brewbag.com to do a nice custom wraps for breweries. Brewbag is your beer pong cornhole. Think about that. Let that set in for a minute. I watched the beer cornhole championships this past weekend on the Ocho, ESPN 8, and these guys came back from, I think it was 17 down to win the cornhole doubles championship.
How much free time do you have?
Enough to watch that at 11 a.m. You know, I get windows. I don't have actual time off. I just have windows, and that's what I did with that window. So go to brewbag.com and type in promo code the Wort, or type in promo code the Wort, and receive 10% off your order. Tonight we were also sponsored by something that I have brewing in my basement. That is a Marzen, an Oktoberfest, folks. Yes, I am brewing an Oktoberfest in August. And that is courtesy
You
of...
mean just like every other brewery out there?
That's a good point. No, they're doing pumpkins. Then they get clean the tanks and go right into the Oktoberfest. Which they're already out. You're right. You know what? You're right. I saw Great South Bay had it out already. I'm like, oh, damn, it's October 5th. You're right. They got to have the pumpkin out. But we are also sponsored tonight by Beer Maker.
Beer Maker, your at-home countertop all-grain brewing system.
Pumpkin beer.
You could take a whole pumpkin, shove it in the Beer Maker, and make your very own pumpkin beer.
That's not,
No, but you can if you want to. If you find there's not enough pumpkin in your local brewery's pumpkin ale, if you want to, cinnamon sugar that glass yourself at home with your own pumpkin beer, you go right ahead. You can. They have a bunch of maker kits. A lot of them are really good. They have everything from IPAs, stouts, sours. No, actually, no, I'm sorry.
No sours yet.
No sours
They're
yet.
working on the pH
lagers,
ingredient information.
You can make a Marzen. You can make a Mexican lager in December if you want to. You
or you can go to
control it on your
7-Eleven
phone.
and just buy a Modelo and you're good to go. Not as much fun, though.
Shut your mouth.
Okay.
And, hey, I can't do it with my iPhone or my
that's a good point. And that's what's been really guiding me along is the app that goes with it.
So helpful.
Number
all
one,
videos for every
all the videos
step.
you need. It gives you information, education, even as you go along. Like, this is what's happening. Let's let the clarity
Very
set
informative.
in.
I had,
let it sit 2 or 3 more days, and guess what? You'll have more clarity in your beer. I'm like, yes,
better beer.
I want it.
I had the first time I set it up, I had a little issue with the Wi-Fi. Shot him an email and said, hey, here's a link to this video. It'll walk you through exactly how to fix that issue. And it did.
Yeah.
Beer Maker. Go to their webpage. Use promo code the Wort for a little discount off the hardware, and make sure you don't throw out the valves when you're when you're done with the kit.
Well, we got valves now, so we're definitely not throwing those out this time. Go to Beer Maker. Also, another link in our bio of our Instagram.
BRMKR.
Yes, and receive 10% off your order. Use promo code The Wort. We're also sponsored tonight by VintageBeerShirtClub.com. VintageBeerShirtClub.com for your vintage beer shirts. Cool old school logos on shirts. You get them at a discount if you use promo code The Wort, and you'll get a repetitive monthly subscription order delivered right to your door with stickers and swag and all sorts of stuff, but especially the shirt. And that's the key to that. Also sponsored tonight by Brewers Hardware. Brewers Hardware.
Thank you for the new glasses.
For all of your small batch or large capacity needs, go to brewershardware.com.
Try clamps for days.
Yeah.
These guys.
I mean, the amount
All
of stuff that they have.
hoses.
Pretty much everyone we've talked to
many clamps.
that we've mentioned Brewers Hardware, people are like, yeah, no, we use them. We've used them before we heard it on your show. So
all sorts of paddles.
all sorts of stuff they do.
That's right, Tom.
Supply,
For you, paddles.
On the casting couch and everything. Just had to go there, didn't you? So go to brewershardware.com, and they're also sponsoring gifts back to the brewers that we have for our brewers tonight. And thanks a lot for all your support over these last few years. Brewers Hardware.
They've been a really good sponsor,
Since I think year one.
Yeah.
And they've always contributed to the show. And we've, again, nothing really for us. It's just giving back to the brewers. They appreciate the people coming on, telling their stories, telling their journey. Also, quick shout outs to Hopscotch. Also, Physics for your tabletop beer
birthday,
dispensing.
Steve.
Steven got a physics, and we posted it on our Instagram from me, actually. I gave him physics, and I used our promo code Wort and got 20% off my order. So go to physics.com for your tabletop beer dispensing needs. It does 12-ounce, 16-ounce, 32-ounce crowlers. You got your bottles up to about 750 milliliters, and you have it right on tap, right on your countertop. So go to physics.com or go to our link in our link tree of our bio of our Instagram and get your discount today. And tonight... After
now
all
that we're
these,
done.
yes, now that we're done. I know it feels like people have now figured it out that they probably skipped through a lot of this, but they missed some good gold in there. I feel like they're going to miss some of our little
Pure
side stories.
comedy gold.
Which means people coming back in should go back through some of the ads or our sponsor
Or
list.
listen to the ads twice.
Right? No, that's a little overkill. But listen to
hey.
it once, and you'll catch some side stories that you may not get in the full gamut of our show. And we leave it in on the podcast version as well. But anyway, we get back to our guests tonight. We have Brendan, and we have David sitting in studio with us from a brand new brewery opening up in Bayshore. Yeah, correct. That is right. I didn't say that like I was questioning it. I was just saying like this is exciting because Bayshore is at this point we'll call it a hotbed of breweries.
Just a wee
Indeed.
Yeah,
Indeed.
and you guys are now the latest and greatest,
Number
bit.
five?
Five. We'll be five.
We'll
Yeah.
be five, right?
but probably 4.
No.
No.
Are we
it's
counting-
Great South Bay, Ghost,
yeah.
Dubco, Brewers Collective.
Oh, Brewers Collective.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wouldn't
Take 2.
Well, you would be 6, but really
6
it's only
to open.
5. That's where I was going with.
Yeah,
okay.
Hey, we know what you're talking
Yeah, all right. Well, no, it's okay. We were friends with Billy and
Steve,
and
yeah.
Steve, and we wish them the best in their next venture of more than likely they're just going to do hiking for the rest of their lives. We're going to catch
Hey.
them lost in a woods somewhere. It would be great to see them out there. But good luck to those guys. They fought the good fight. But now we have the next class. And Brendan and David, we got you guys here because we were very interested in some of the stuff you guys were putting out social media-wise. We saw you hit there, and you guys are in the midst of construction. Before we get into all of that, let's take a journey back here. Tell us a little bit about who you guys are, how you got started, and lead us up into where you started discussing, opening a brewery for yourselves.
I guess I'll start.
Start it off.
Yeah, For me, I grew up out in the Pacific Northwest, Spokane, Washington.
Oh.
My hometown.
A lot of good beer out there.
Yes, there
That's for
is.
damn sure.
But when I was finishing up college, living in Spokane, before I moved out here, they were just starting to get this craft beers thing going. Just a little bit.
Weren't we cute when it first started? Wasn't
Yeah, it's
Long
like-
Island and New York? Oh, this is so cute starting beer.
Believe me, New York is so far behind
Oh.
because we're talking back in the late '80s, early '90s. I mean, the only ones you had over there really were guys like Red Hook.
Yep.
Was just starting out. Hales was probably the one that was there the longest.
Hales.
Hales kicks ass.
Wow.
But
I know the logo. I've never had the beer, obviously.
but the best brewery in Seattle right now is definitely Fremont. Not even.
Oh, yeah.
Not close, hands down. But
And now, are they in the
right
market?
They're right down the road from Hales. So it's
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is Fremont in the market?
No, Fremont's actually in Fremont.
It is,
It's
okay.
It's on the other side of Queen Anne Hill, and
Okay.
and you go across the bridge, and you're right there. And if you kind of work your way up to, I think it's Bellevue
Okay.
or Bellevue, Bellingham. I can't remember which one. But if you work your way up there, then Hales is right up there too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, both really good breweries. But I mean, Seattle's got crap ton.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forget it.
Yeah. So then I moved out here, and there wasn't, for lack of better words, there wasn't shit.
Well, yeah.
So for the most part, I was back into the beer desert, and then started to take off. And one of the early guys was obviously the guy that should be sitting here. He's now playing shortstop in the Mets.
That's right.
DHing tonight.
Yeah, DH. Okay. Steve was one of the early guys, and definitely, that kind of grabbed me.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know if you know, we're related through my wife.
Okay.
She's my wife's cousin.
Okay.
Oh,
So we really kind of have to make this shit work.
We'll call it family business.
because it's a family business at this
Yeah.
point. We were both kind of getting into craft beer because it was about 2013.
2013.
2013, yeah. So 2013, we're sitting there at my in-laws' house for Thanksgiving, and one of those tabletop beer kits came on.
Was it Mr. Beery?
Mr. Beer?
Beer, yeah.
Mr. Beer. It was
I
like
keep
this-
calling Mr. Beery. Like,
Yeah, it's like Mr. Beer was kind of sucky. I mean, if you
I still have mine.
Yeah, if you can get it from Kohl's, it's a little questionable.
Yeah.
but,
And you
I
need
mean,
to
not
add
that there's anything wrong with Kohl's, but I mean,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be getting your beer equipment from there. But
You need to also add the fact that we were sharing craft beer. And
Oh, yeah.
we'd always bring craft beer with us.
yeah, so
Share
I mean,
stuff.
so we're sitting there on the couch, and that was on the TV, and I said, like, you know what? Maybe we should do that. We both like craft beer. Maybe it's worthwhile doing this stuff, and I said, like, yeah, sure. Well, why don't we, he goes like, well, why don't we order that? And I said, like, well, you know what? There's got to be something a little bit better. And once we I said, like, let me do a little research. I think by January of 2014, we'd already bought like our first kit, and we did like three different kit beers. But after the first beer we brewed, I said, like, this is what I want to do. I mean, it was like,
Which ones did you do?
first one was an IPA, right?
Oh, wait. Are we talking about the beer kit?
Yeah, the beer.
Yeah,
kit. It was
okay.
like an IPA, and then
Because I remember doing a lot of those. I did a
Yeah.
bunch of those. With the syrup and everything. With the extract?
extract, and then
Yep.
I did the Irish Stout. I definitely remember that. And I left it in my fridge for almost 2 years. And I cracked another one open. It was still drinkable. I don't know if I got sick off it. I don't really remember. But it was probably something I shouldn't have drank. But it still held up. And I bottled them. I remember you had to put them in bottle because then you had to drop the sugar
Oh, yeah.
tablet and roll them and all this stuff. And you learn a little bit from that. And I think that's the key to people starting up. It's just you got to learn. You learn from your mistakes, learn from the education that comes with some of these kits. And as much as it's not a place to go and actually think you're going to start brewing,
Oh, yeah,
it's
no.
a good place to start for sure.
I think by
was more the
summer
process.
by summer 2014, we were already we already started going all grain.
Yeah.
It was like I had the bug right from the get go. And
Now, were you using like a home system, 3 kettles, kind of
the
burners?
original one was just like one kettle.
Yeah,
It's
a stovetop.
immersion chiller that we still use.
Yeah.
Not for actually immersion chilling, but we do use it. We use it in a closed
Jockey
system.
box.
We have a jockey. Well, no, actually, we've got a cold plate for that.
Oh, okay, there you go.
We keep upgrading everything.
Yeah.
But we try to recycle
that's-
old. We like to recycle our old stuff.
Yeah.
Everything gets reused for somehow
Yeah.
repurposed.
Oh, yeah, that's the better way. Yes.
There you go. Yeah. So then from there, we just like I said, really by end of 2014, like I knew that's what I wanted to do, and it's been a bit of a long journey, but
Yeah, we were all grain within definitely
year.
less than a
Less
year.
than
I
a
want
year.
to say it was within 6 months we started doing all grain, and
Yeah,
from
yeah,
there
yeah.
we just decided to keep going.
Now, you guys got into the homebrew community with hand grenades, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
that is.
yeah.
Now, when did you
correct.
guys end up getting on with that, and how was that journey through their community?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was Punktoberfest
Ooh,
from
Great South Bay.
South Bay
Yeah.
was when we met them. We went to their next homebrew meeting. We ended up joining the brew club, and from there, it just also opened up a lot of other avenues, right?
Yeah,
The,
yeah.
The
homebrew-
networking.
yeah.
Oh yeah, just
The networking.
the
the co-
advice. I mean, we have
Yes.
beers that wouldn't be where they are without those guys.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, actually,
The
one of the beers you're gonna
feedback.
try. Yeah, one of the beers you're gonna try today is like literally he made one small suggestion. And
You can start pouring whenever you like.
Right.
We can
why don't
Oh,
you-
get,
yeah,
get something
actually,
rolling on.
I mean,
We'll talk about the entire
let's-
breakdown of those a little later after Steve's questions.
Since
But
you're going down that road,
Yeah.
let's go down the EB route because
there you go.
it.
Oh, and you got them labeled
Branded
already?
growlers.
Yeah. Branded already. That's nice. Yeah, you can just pass it down. So, I mean, when you guys were in the hand grenades,
We'll start off with some half glasses.
yeah.
then we'll top them all off and finish.
So Pete said at the top of the show, he's like, those are big glasses because you usually have like the small like taku glasses,
Yeah.
and we're just tasting and stuff like that. And he's like, I go, well, we'll see how much beer they brought. Well, you brought a bunch of growlers, so I think we can handle
Well,
half
we
pours.
figure we cover all the bases.
When you guys were with that group, how new was that? What year was that? Did you guys got in on
I think
that?
we joined probably like late 2014. I think they were probably just still in their first year.
Yeah, because that was
If it wasn't 2014, it was been early 2015. But irony of all ironies, the first meeting we went to was at Press 195 over in RVC, and some guy walks in, like, because we'd gotten some food and we were just kind of sitting there, and first meeting trying to figure out what the hell's going to go on. Guy walks in, bald guy, and he says, like, "Hey, you mind if I sit here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Still friends with that guy to this day. And he also owns like a little place up in Huntington called Six Harbors. That was Mark Hewitter was one of the first people we ever met in that club, and still friends with him today.
That's right. He came up through that too. I forgot that he
I
had
forgot
said
about
that
that,
during
yeah.
our show with him.
Great
Guy. I mean, what they're doing up there, we were talking about before the show, is very unique. Something a little different in that they have restrictions of where they are.
Right.
So to get around that, they're importing their wort, and that's kind of crazy, but yet works for them because then they still have their touch on that. They're getting like a base liquid that they can use because
Hop tea, I think is the way you described
that's the way you described it, right? So it's very interesting, kind of, out of that hand grenade or just homebrew groups in general, a lot of ideas can be shared and brought to the table. When you have someone like that and who has a system that can handle that, I mean, that's awesome. What was some of the key parts of the homebrew club that really kind of spoke to you, that really set you on your path?
So aside from the fact of being able to collaborate with everyone and try to get ideas from everyone, the fact that they had space available at these festivals, and that's what really triggered the idea between Brendan and I to start looking
like
and
tap handles that you could
and
actually get the beer out there.
Right.
It went from like I really want to do this to I can do this because because you literally
you're not getting
Homebrew
a
and hand grenades
bias.
and LABME
Like-
have a booth at every festival.
And they
Every
have
festival.
10 tap handles, or
Yeah.
whoever
Right.
wants to bring their
Yes.
jockey box,
Yeah.
they get a space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when you get people coming back to you at these festivals, like we were at Belmont, and this one, admittedly the guy was a little ham,
I'll take it.
but he comes, I'll take it because he comes back and he goes like, "That's the best effing beer I've had all day." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "That's awesome."
Was it this one?
No, it
No,
wasn't.
no,
This
no.
wasn't done
That
yet.
was Big D.
This wasn't finished product yet.
That was actually that Big D or
Dark Sunrise.
Dark Sunrise. We didn't bring that today. But
So I mean, just the networking, and Bernard said, gave thumbs up for you guys and wished you on your way and all that stuff. The homebrew, like networking and collaboration. What were the big takeaways from that besides just general knowledge? What were can you pinpoint like one or two things that you guys walked away with? If I wasn't for that, not just Mark, but in general, what was for that?
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't be able to
I would
get where I am.
definitely say just you getting into like a lot of the nitty gritty of some of the stuff. It's like when you come out and you just start doing a kit, and if you start doing all grain, you can create a recipe and it'll work.
Yeah.
But when you're in those homebrew clubs, you give people a try, and they say well, maybe you try this, try that. And they also
the
get
hops earlier in the boil or something like that.
Exactly. And,
Add a
and
little more of
honestly,
the grain,
I found myself like giving back like later on down the road, and at a meeting, I think where was the one that we were at? One was at Barn Shed. I was talking to a guy that normally goes to I think LIBME, and I just made a couple quick suggestions. Totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
Run into him at a LIBME meeting at Dubco.
Oh yeah.
And he pours me the beer, and then I said wait a second, were you at Barn Shed? He was like, yeah. He took exactly my advice, and that beer just turned out amazing. And it was something minor. It wasn't even
just like a throwaway line,
it's like throw just try this.
Yeah.
But that's what we got out of those clubs. It's
Yeah.
like a lot of times it's like they're out there giving you advice and pushing you different directions.
And they're honest. They're not
honest.
your drunken friend at Belmont, or not even
no,
friend, drunken random dude at Belmont that you can't put that on the refrigerator. But the guys have been doing this and have the experience. That's the ones you're really gonna.
Right.
Oh yeah, and that means the most to you. And then going back to this beer here, this EB, this bad boy, the EB actually stands for exploding buckets. It's like really like
Exploding what?
exploding buckets.
Oh,
It was our first beer, actually our only beer, really, that exploded out of its bucket.
You're like,
Really?
You're like,
So yeah, it had so much fermentation activity.
Happy yeast.
Very,
Oh, yeah.
very
Way
happy.
too happy.
Very happy yeast. Too happy.
It was a mess.
And
to
even with
clean
your
up, but-
vent and the hose and everything, it just
Yep.
Back in the old days, like
Yeah.
the airlock, it literally just pushed the whole thing up.
Yep.
Went all over his basement. I was over there like at 10 o'clock. at night.
Mentos in Coca-Cola, pretty much, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like
Yeah.
Krausen everywhere. But it's funny because like back then, like the homebrew clubs, I didn't really have any phone numbers and a way to contact them
Yeah.
at that time. So my only other option was a friend of mine that's still out in Spokane. So and I only had messaged him through like a message board that I was on. So I'd really even talk to this guy
Message
face to
boards.
face, let alone anything else.
Really dating yourself, Brendan.
I know, but the funny thing is, like, I call him up and he goes, don't worry about it, because I was freaking out. Like, he had to talk me off the ledge. And by the way, Scott, that's for you.
There you go.
Scott Hampton Visuals, the little minor.
There you go.
Gotta
Quick shout out. Yeah, go
little
ahead.
shout out. He's gonna come up again later.
Yeah, okay.
But he goes like, yeah, man, good attenuation, dude. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
He goes, just remember, everything's getting pushed out. And it's like, but that's like, again, the same kind of stuff you get out of these guys in these homebrew clubs.
Yeah.
So,
Right,
This
because
was
when
really
something is exploding in your basement and you're like trying to
like,
figure
what
out
am I
like
doing?
what
What
do I do
wrong?
now? Did we just lose?
How did I fuck this up?
Did we just lose all this beer?
that's exactly what I was saying.
How big was the bucket? What was the batch?
It's a
five
5
gallon
gallon
batch.
batch.
Yeah,
but still,
Yeah,
5
still.
gallons you spend
The time
basically
and the
time.
hours.
Five,
Yeah.
five
Right,
gallons
that-
all over your basement is.
That's not
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which luckily it wasn't all the 5 gallons, even though an ounce of spill looks like a big
Yes.
mess.
Yeah. Yo.
But so you
But
can
then what do you
imagine
do
this.
to kind of attenuate that, bring that back, and
Right.
get that
Right.
back on track?
Back on track,
Because you don't want the next one to be the same mistake.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And one of the things that happened with this beer was that we ended up going to this one meeting at Effin Grooven
Ah,
way back in the day.
We love ourselves some F and
Yeah.
Grooven stories. Tell us more, because I only
This could suck us on a 45-minute tangent.
which is fine. So I'm trying to think of the first year I actually went to F and Grooven.
Oh, I know exactly
I
what
know
it
because you had your first date there, right?
like second or third. Yeah, second or third
Oh,
date.
second
My
and
now
third date?
wife
Yeah.
went to effing Grooven
I
on her
was-
suggestion.
So I turned 21 in 2001. That sounds about right. 2000. All right, 2000. So I was definitely going there at 2000, but was I there early? I don't recall because I know I had older friends and they were all going there already. And I'm going to say, let's say 2000. So that is sort of in their span of lifetime a little later because they closed going on what now? 5 years, 6 years ago, 7 years
wow.
ago?
Yeah,
Say,
yeah,
more than
7, 8
that?
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was later in their lifespan. Brendan, tell me a little about Effin Grooven in the early years. That's what I
So
want.
that was
That was
That was
actually
about the same
the year
time?
before me.
That was
Oh,
probably
all right.
Yeah.
This was remember that club didn't start till 2014, so it was like probably 2016.
Oh,
that we
okay,
had
all
a
right.
meeting
So
there.
you were very end of that.
very end of it.
All
Yeah,
right.
they still had a kick-ass.
We had
tap list.
friends. The bald guy. I still don't know his first name, but we called him the transporter. He looked like Jason Statham. So every time we go in there, we're like transporter. Like that was he was our guy that we would catch on whatever shift he had. And who was the other guy? Who was the Asian fella? Mike. It wasn't Mike. What was
I
his
know what
name?
you're talking about. Yeah. I ran in.
He's
I didn't
good
say-
friends with my friend Vin, and we actually played volleyball together. Like in the last year that Effin was around, he left like a year before that, though.
I ran into him. I not ran into him. I saw him
Yeah.
at a winery out east. I'm
God
like,
damn it.
that's the guy. That's the guy.
That's him. That's the guy who grooving. Yeah. And then I feel like I remember one other. I feel like to me, Mike, who is American Beauty now. I feel like he had worked there at one point. He looked so familiar to me when we first met him that I was like, didn't he work there and now he owns it? He didn't, by the way. That's not what it was. But I felt so comfortable there. I loved that place with
Yeah.
all my. That was my bar, even though it was almost 35 minutes away from my house. Whenever we go to Islanders
Love that
games
place.
or coming back from a Hofstra basketball game or something like that.
They had like the high octane list.
Uh-huh.
They had the directions to Mulcahy's if you wanted Bud Miller, of course.
But they had
love that.
the rare beer that no one else
Yeah,
had, and
yeah,
that's why we went. And that was one of the first places that I knew of. I'm sure there were others on Long Island because I didn't travel all that much. going to these things. I wasn't into
Yeah.
the craft beer scene at that time. But when I went there and I was going, what is this stuff? And they had IPAs and stuff. I'm like, this is crazy.
All the good Belgian shit. That's
Framboy and Frambois.
Frambois. Beelzebub. That was one.
Oh, yeah.
It was in like an 11-ounce bottle or something. It was a weird size.
They had Demond. They had a
Yep.
bunch of things that you were just like, what
all the Unibrew, all the Delirium.
So much fun there.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I mean, that was a staple on Long Island for a very long time. But now the market's flooded. Now you can pretty
there are
much
a lot of good craft beer. bars
every
out there.
town probably has its own. I mean, we could take phone calls, by the way. Give us a call, 516-465-3990.
Tangent.
516-465-3990. Tell us your favorite craft beer bar in your town.
Specifically, tell us many effing Gruben stories.
No, yeah. but seriously, like, what is that? You guys live in the same town now or no?
We actually do.
Okay.
he's
So
like walking
what
distance
would you
away.
guys think? This is not one of Steve's questions. What would you guys think or qualify as the best like craft beer bar in your town?
Hopscotch.
Hopscotch.
All right.
Oh, you
See,
guys
both
are
of Deer
Deer
Park.
Park.
All
Deer
right.
Park.
Yeah. There we go. See, I was.
Props.
Beyond Hopscotch and Deer Park,
Yeah.
there's nothing else.
Yeah. That's very true. Tom.
Agreed. That's where I'm from.
Tom
I
is from
don't-
Deer Park as well.
I'm pretty sure I went to high school with. I
Oh,
think
you
it was
go.
your daughter.
Asking you
Oh,
shall
yeah.
receive.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know how this show facilitated, but I know back in April
Yeah.
when that newspaper article came out, I sent that to Mike, and I
Okay.
don't know if that's kind of what
That
got
was
you.
news-
No,
Newsday
you're
article.
still
Yeah,
useless.
because my daughter my daughter did say she goes, I think I know somebody that works on that show.
Oh, there you go.
So,
Yeah, Tom
Yeah.
actually
What a
used to
small
be.
world.
I don't want to keep saying this because I feel like I'm demeaning you, but I'm not. Tom used to be one of my students. As a student,
It's just a fact.
Oh, all right. So, but I feel like
And
every
now
time I
he's
say
the
that, I still answer to Tom all the time. I ask him good questions. He's in the know. That's why I go to him. But yeah, Tom came on. I want to say 4 years ago. 4 years ago, maybe. 3 years
in
ago.
Governors in
no, in
general, or
us,
your show.
at
Yeah,
our-
whenever the first
Nassau County,
yes.
Nassau Community,
Oh,
no, Nassau
yeah, yeah,
Coliseum
yeah, yeah.
show.
Great Beer Expo.
Great
Yes.
Beer Expo.
Yes.
That was the first one in 2018, and then we did AC Beer Fest 19,
okay.
21, and 22.
Yeah, so 4 years ago, Tom came on, and you did. You sent us that article. We saw them being open, but that was a while
in
ago.
April. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a while ago. And then I think from there, then started following on social media and started seeing the journey. We have someone on the phone. This is the word. Oh, someone hung up on the phone. Son of a bitch. They
Call
heard
back.
us.
Call back.
Yeah, whoever you are on the phone, give us a call back, 516-465-3990, and tell us your favorite craft beer bar in your town. Peter, what's yours in the old Dale?
Oh, it's. I mean, it's tough. There are actually a few good ones.
Yeah, and it changes so often, right? I mean, people can change their tap list in a couple of
Man.
weeks,
I
and
mean,
all of a sudden
so
turn around.
I'm in Farmingdale. I've got Croxley's, Dark Horse, and Republic, and
right.
they're all really good.
Republic usually is pretty good.
yeah.
They do. They always have a. I don't know.
When do we go there for something? What did we go there for? We were there for.
When we went to Croxley's.
No, not the live show. I'm just talking about we went skipping around in Farmingdale at one point and ended up there. Remember we saw Long Island there? Was that?
Oh, that was that same day.
It was?
We started at Republic.
Yeah.
It was when they did Craft Beer Week, Long Island Craft Beer Week.
2018.
when
Wow, that was a long time ago.
And
COVID made me skip years, leap years.
We went to Republic to have a drink before we started doing the show, and I was so nervous. I did a shot of JMO or something.
What?
Before
It was our first
and then
live
we,
show.
And then we met the guys from Long Island and Montauk.
Yeah, that's the first time we met Billy from Nightmare
yes.
and all those guys. Yeah, it was
That's
great.
awesome.
But yeah, I mean, can't ask you. Well, you're not in Deer Park at this point?
No, I'm back.
Oh, you are back.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
all
moved
right.
back in 2020.
And you would say same thing, right? Hopscotch
Yeah,
is
that's the
nothing
only
else.
thing that comes to mind.
You wouldn't go to Miller's?
I mean, if I'm craving a mountain melt, and there's a football game on. Yeah, sure.
Mountain.
If you're looking for craft beer at Miller's,
Yeah.
it's sketchy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Because I don't know if that's
Blue Moon,
really.
right? Blue Moon
that's
counts.
why a
Blue
lot of
Moon.
people end up going down to Babylon.
Yeah.
So,
Which I don't blame. Best craft beer
What do you
bar
think in Babylon?
In
Yeah.
Babylon, yeah.
definitely, I would say the Village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Local.
Or local, but
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
basically
But
the
basically
same
the
guy.
And actually, oh fuck yeah, there's a
Same
fourth
guy.
now. There's a Villager in Farmingdale now too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. That'd be interesting. I haven't been there.
hopefully they fare better than that
Yeah.
location is. churned.
What did Farmingdale Brew Co. rebrand to? Because they
The
had
Villager.
Great Bear. Oh, that is the Villager.
That's the Villager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it really wasn't. They didn't have a house beer, though. If they worked with Synergy at this point, they could. They could have their own house beer if they wanted to. But it just they get everything. They had Sand City first. They were the first ones, I think, to get a contract from Sand City, pre and post COVID. When I had my 40th birthday, and we went. Oh, your 40th? No, my 40th birthday. And we went out there. They had Sand City, and that was pretty early on.
I thought you went to Secatog for your.
We
did.
did, but we ended up back in Babylon afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was.
Yeah, we were all But I remember being the Villager, and the Villager's packed.
Villager and local are the same family, right? Same
Yeah.
same
Yes.
same people
Yeah,
own
they
it.
are.
Same owner.
Yeah, so they do a great job. And we could probably, again, we could take phone calls. We're not going to. We want to hear more about you. But, I mean, every town, Lindenhurst, Copiague, Amityville, you could probably find.
Who would you say in Lindenhurst? Best craft beer bar?
Sand City.
No,
That-
no.
yeah, but that's just Sand
that's
City.
just Sand City.
What's the
Belfast?
yeah?
Belfast had a pretty good
Belfast.
list.
I'm gonna
had
say
a pretty good
Restoration.
list.
Restoration.
Oh, yeah.
Restoration.
Restoration.
Oh,
probably-
yes.
probably
Yeah,
right.
I think
I'll
right
go
there.
there now. We'll see what happens at the new taco joint. They're talking about bringing in
So
some
Ruby Tuesday,
Ruby
Sohos.
Sohos.
That's it. Not Ruby Tuesday.
But yes, I mean, Ruby Tuesdays. Yes.
I hear the salad bar is great.
Well, the Red Robin in West Babylon closed, so we're waiting for that to reopen as something else. I don't know what it's going to be.
I still need my free burger.
It'll be Bakudo has
my birthday
a good.
burger.
I think they take in a bunch of cans and stuff from other people
and I'm sure
too.
like 27A in Sand City and Meadworks.
Yeah, they're all there,
Yeah.
so it makes it easier. And they're opening a steakhouse. There's a bunch of stuff coming to Lyndhurst, but I think at this point, Restoration had small craft the week they opened. They went out and was seeking unique beer. This was before obviously Sand City got there. They've had 27A on tap. They've had some of the smaller breweries on tap. So I would say that was a good one because harder to find beers.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a contest.
And interesting enough, we right before our current location, we were looking at Lindenhurst.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
what,
Oh,
what
yeah.
building were you looking at?
The Breslau building.
Oh,
'cause
they were
might not
they
make
were
it out of this
several,
year.
but
So, the one we liked, the landlady who just didn't want to rent it out. I think she'd just rather take the loss.
She was trying to sell it.
No, she's
Oh.
just like she wanted a ridiculous amount. for
They
what
were
it was.
On Wellwood or
yeah,
It was on Wellwood, just a little bit past the Friendlies. That was down there. It was
Yeah.
like
That was
it
by
used
the
to be like an
7-Eleven.
ice cream par- it
Yeah,
was like an
there's-
ice cream parlor.
there was-
oh, it was a Carvel.
Oh,
that whole block
It
is
was a
empty.
Hershey's.
Yes.
It was a Hershey's.
Oh,
it
was a Hershey's next to the
Carvel
pizza
when I
place.
was a kid.
Yeah, oh, maybe.
But I mean,
Yeah.
By the time we looked at the place, I think there was like
There was
out of the
like-
three.
There's nothing in there now.
Out of the three storefronts,
It's all empty.
there was only the pizza
Pizzeria
joint.
The
was
pizza
there?
joint.
Last time I went by, even that's not there anymore.
And the little drive-through Chase has been closed down for like
Because
10
there's another
years.
one across the
Yeah.
street.
Right, but
Yeah.
it's just missing. It's land not
that
used
whole that I know.
Yeah.
I
for
know.
the town. It just seems stupid.
I think it's between that from the Chase to the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everything's empty. I
Yeah.
think.
Nothing, yeah.
Whatever happened to all the friendlies? There's one
and I was
left.
going to say
All
wasn't
the
there a friendly-
franchisees
the
lost their
friendlies was
contract.
there.
That's why.
Yeah, but they could have picked up new franchisees. No one wanted the freaking happy ending Sunday. I mean, come on.
That's funny that you mentioned Friendlies
Now that
because
you
we
mention
actually
Friendlies.
looked at an old Friendlies, the old Friendlies in West Babylon.
Oh yeah, right on.
Oh, yeah,
right on
on
109.
109,
Yeah. And that one is nothing, right?
No, that's
It's-
also
it's
vacant.
abandoned.
Still
Yeah.
bacon.
All right, so let's talk about the new facility because I know you guys are already started construction. What landed you in Bayshore? What was the driving force to the location that you're at now? And then kind of bring us up to speed on all the things you had to go through, the hoops and fire rings.
What
and stuff
officials
like
did you have to pay
By the
off?
way, before we start with that, because it looks like David's Brendan's looking to David to like, all right, you take this.
You want to take this one?
I'm gonna say, David, you have a good voice,
Agreed.
do?
right?
Yeah.
Did you notice that before?
As soon as you uttered like one syllable,
Yeah,
like, that's a
he's got the
golden
right
radio
tonality,
voice.
be like a good voiceover.
Really?
Almost, and again, not saying this to be mean about it, but almost like that YouTube voice, like explaining things on YouTube. Think about it, man. I'm telling you.
In
you
your
got a
spare
good
time,
voice.
do you
So
make,
I
do you
might
make
have
videos
another
unpacking
career.
merchandise?
just another hat, another career.
He can open up baseball cards. You know how much
Have you
people
ever thought
make on
about
that?
just like opening up packages on
Yeah.
video?
Yeah,
Just
how
taping
much
yourself
money-
opening up packages like,
my
hey, an
God.
unboxing video of a
So no, I haven't.
Yes.
New beer maker.
Interesting
Yeah.
enough, I have seen those videos, those YouTube
Such a
videos that my
weird
my
concept.
daughters like watch of opening up like What is?
I actually had to watch one for work.
The egg ones?
a couple weeks ago.
They did the eggs.
the mystery packages.
Yeah,
that they're
oh,
opening
yeah.
up
Like,
mystery
guys like
packages.
flash them like I want. Does it have rack ears or not, asshole?
Just-
Are there rack ears on this microphone receiver?
they sold separately. Or could I
Fuck.
fuck?
They were not rack ears. I had to use a shelf.
Yeah. Oh, and that's terrible. And then you got to do Velcro underneath so it doesn't shift around in the rack. Tech Talk with Pete and Mike. We'll do another podcast in a few weeks. We'll just talk about rack screws, the best ones to get. The Mid-Atlantic
HP
ones.
from Mid-Atlantic.
No, Mid-Atlantic is the best.
Yeah, Mid-Atlantic,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Sorry, well that'd be a short podcast.
Mid-Atlantic or
Done.
nothing. HP's for the front, HPQ's for the back.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you could do that.
That's all you gotta do.
But seriously, you have a great voice. You should think about like doing Audible and making some money on the side.
Audible.
Oh yeah, just reading books. You know how much money you make on that? It's crazy. I don't have the time, but if anyone has the time, if you're sitting there watching people construct,
You
a
were
new brewery-
watching fucking the cornhole game.
That's true.
You have the fucking time.
I don't have that much time.
Who even knew that there was a cornhole championship?
It's been going on for
I,
years
I
now.
couldn't tell if he was fucking with me until he's read
No,
the
I'm dead
score,
serious.
And I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah, I think I know it was Poole and Rivera was a team. If I'm not mistaken, I can look it up on the Ocho, but.
please don't.
It's actually really exciting. These guys are freaking dart throwers with these bags. It's amazing. Brewbags better have a cornhole tournament coming up in the next few years. And as you may know, our wives at our
Wives,
job
they have
a cornhole tournament at their
My wife
job.
somehow made it out of the first round.
She got brew bag experience. So maybe
No.
yes, she does. She's throwing them around. She got diaper experience in the garbage bag.
Well, I mean, for that, she's
She's got the right weight on it. That's for sure. All right, so tell us a little bit about the brewery. What was the selection? Where did we go with and why? I'm sorry, I said it so
So before we go there, just to finish where you were going.
Damn, his voice.
Oh yeah,
Of-
yeah. Because
of the-
Sorry,
I
just-
did. No, I did want to say when we were at F and Groovin, one of the guys in the club made one small suggestion because he said, this beer's really good, but
And remember, it's a traditional porter.
yeah, it was a traditional
Okay.
porter, and he basically says like, what would you think about making a Baltic out of it because you're already kind of getting the same aftertaste that you would get on a Baltic anyways. And once we made that adjustment, and like it just
that was the porter.
it. Like you knew it. Like
What was the adjustment?
Lagering
literally
it.
just
Lagering
that
it
was
to
just
make
time.
it into a Baltic
I mean,
porter.
honestly,
Interesting.
From the first time we made this to that recipe, I think I made like just infinitesimal changes. It was a beer that just kind of.
We're going to break down these beers before, but just to throw it out there now. Very good.
Yeah,
Thank
Very
I
good.
liked it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's something I would order for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so
like
sorry,
it.
the brewery.
Okay, so
Good job.
Drinkable and repeatable, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Repeatable.
And not-
for a porter.
And not
act-
super heavy either.
Yeah.
It's
No,
it's
no,
perfect.
very light.
Drinks
Yeah.
light.
We actually had.
We need refills?
Yes, please. Sure. Peter will not say no. I shall not say no. They have
who-
plastic cups, by the way, Tom, if you
who-
did want to taste.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That changes everything.
I did.
What,
I
what
knew-
are you drinking, by the way, Tom?
Oh, this is actually the Fort Nonsense sea shanty that O'Toole
Oh,
sent
yeah.
me home with from the AC Beer Fest.
We had that the other night, actually, my wife and I.
It's such an easy going sour. Like it's not that like I don't know the word
They,
for it.
by the way, Fort Nonsense had Sour Stock or Sour Fest 2 weekends ago. Dude, the turnout that I saw was amazing. You're not a sour guy.
Sounds terrible.
And honestly, I can't drink sours all day.
One out of
I
10.
don't believe that.
1 out of 10
No,
would
I
not
can't.
go.
I can't. No, but however, they had their other beer on tap inside. You didn't have to do all sours if you didn't want to. I guess.
Why would
But-
you want to?
Because people love sours, Peter, and I don't know why you're not so just enamored by
wait,
good
wait.
sours, not just sours just to have a sour.
Did we want to
a
start trying
good sour.
something else?
No, it's fine. We'll keep
Continue?
going with this. Yeah,
Continue?
keep it on the
We're
palate.
we're gonna knock them all out.
There's time.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. Trust me.
So, but yeah, going back to that, we had a spot actually in Deer Park of all places, and we were like all excited about it. And
Yeah, because our initial thought was to open up within Deer Park.
because it seemed like a town that was ripe for it, and
Yeah, I agree.
then
And thanks
Yeah, of
to Hopscotch, people know the town.
yeah,
People know the area. Was
But
it?
I mean,
It was a
but
buy
we-
there.
But no, we would have been on Grand Boulevard actually.
Oh,
It was a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and the actually, it's kind of the building itself was kind of like a little bit of a unicorn because when they really originally bought the land, they were going to put a strip mall in the back.
okay.
So when they originally put it in, they put all these dry wells in, and it already had a grease trap that they closed up. So it was like a unicorn. Like literally, I talked to Suffolk County, and they were like,
Would the dry well work for you?
"Yeah,
Yeah?
it would have," because it was like there was like actually 4 or 5 of them.
Oh, so you have
So
plenty
they-
of space for
plenty of
wastewater.
So like yeah,
Yeah. All right.
and it was like a home run,
Yeah.
but
And on top of which that they were closed
yeah,
for
oh yeah, and
almost
not to mention
15, 20 years.
So they were
they were
Looking to make
they
a
were
deal.
not, they were
they're dry.
the owner
absolutely
had
dry.
been requested to actually close them off because of the previous business that was in there. They were concerned about anything seeping into it, so they had to.
What
close
was
them
there
off.
before?
Like
It was
heating place.
It's a heating plumbing place, which
All right, maybe
But
it's a
like
little.
fuel oil and
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how much? If it was a little mom and pop heating oil place, it wasn't like
It was,
freaking.
no, it was
Yeah.
it was not big at all.
Yeah,
but
huh.
It would have been a great spot, but the owner ended up ghosting us because the town's scared the shit out of him. To be honest,
yeah, and I don't.
Town
I
of
don't.
Babylon.
I
Do you
don't
think the
blame
town wanted
I don't
that?
blame 'em.
They wanted that space. You think they were
Well,
like,
you know what?
we
What they
earmarked
wanted
it for
was-
something?
because we would go in there as a change of uses for the building. We
Right.
had to go in there
Oh,
and
inspections.
upgrade the entire property.
Oh,
So
they wanted
and we
paving
weren't going
and
to
everything,
utilize.
and
you know how that goes. A
Yeah.
lot of lining pockets for that
And
one.
if I recall off the top of my head, it was 1.5 acres of property. So
Holy
That's a
now
lot.
You're
It was
looking
it was a lot of
at
property. Yeah,
that's a
and we were trying to
big-
compromise with them, and the town was just not really budging on it. And
Really quick before you go into that, just because I got to shut this off for in a minute. A lot of people on Instagram checking in. You guys did, actually. That Beer Dad, Nick Vitale, Kim.
Hey, Nick.
Nick Vitale,
The Nostalgist podcast, which is Manny's podcast from Lithology. Brianna from AC Beer Fest. Brianna Liz is checking in. Joey MP4, Rivercrest, New York City. At Manapak, and then Manny says, "What's up, boys?" Manny says, "Pete's back! Yay!"
Hi, Manny.
Sheila's checking in from Long Island.
Oh,
She says
Sheila.
hello. I'll pin her up there nicely. Sorry. Chris from Circa Brewing Company in Brooklyn. Jersey Beer Guys checking in. Never was. Jeff Sadden from Sadden Apple Brandy.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff,
What's
man,
up?
how you been? My PVDBC. I'm amazed I even
Yeah.
said that. Brewers Foods, I got to get them on. I should have called them up for this show and just had them come in and say what's
Asshole.
up. CM Sweeney's checking in, 85, and that's a lot of people saying hi and waving in. So just wanted to acknowledge people there. We're gonna have to shut Instagram down in a minute because my phone. Oh, Phineas is checking in. We're gonna shut Instagram down in a few minutes. You can go over to the Facebook link in our story, or you can go over to YouTube, type in The Wort with Mike and Pete, and you'll see on the Governor's Comedy Club podcast page, we are live there. And again, if you guys missed the show today, wow, more people joining in. Ryan, Daniela, what's up? We're going to be live for a little bit, but then everything that we do here is going to be in podcast form there then after the show. In the studio for you guys that are now checking in, we have Brendan and David from Take Two about to tell us about their brand new brewery and the location and where they're setting up.
Union Boulevard.
Union Boulevard, right across from the train station.
Why do we pick Union Boulevard? I think you just gave it
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
You're across from a train station.
Yeah.
That's a fucking
And the
great
hospital.
location.
The hospital's right there too,
I'll be
right?
honest, like we kind of dumb lucked into the location because when the guy ghosted us, which again we don't blame him. It was the best thing ever for us in the end.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, like I posted something on Facebook along the lines of like back to the drawing board, and some guy just messages me through Facebook and he goes like, "You still looking for a place?" Because my friend has a place down on the Bayshore and he wants to get a brewery in there. And I'm like, yeah, we'll talk to anybody at this point.
We're open to all callers.
Because we were ready to sign for this place in Deer Park, and then before he disappeared on us, but we went down there, and then the landlord was going like, well, yeah, they're going to be putting some apartments here. There's some apartments possibly going over here. But he starts pointing off all these things, and I'm like, I'm just looking at the location. We're right across from the train station. You got hundreds of apartments going in.
Yep.
And
The medical staff coming out of the hospital.
Oh, the hospital.
Yeah.
Back then, I don't think the hospital was quite expanding like the way they are
Anyone
now.
that may be coming out of rehab and wants to take that, get right back on the horse again.
There are 12 steps right to the front of my
Yeah.
brewery.
It's a terrible thing to say. And
I
I'm
know.
going to hell, but it was worth the laugh.
Listen,
so
they have their own issues to work out, and I wish them all the best of luck. But in case they
No,
want
but
to,
like right across the street from a train station.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
That's
Yeah,
Cool.
in the end, like I think we've calculated out it's about somewhere around 600 apartments are going to be within walking distance of us, and that was like he was
I have to admit
Yeah.
that I was definitely the word of no
Caution?
No way.
like, no way.
Voice of reason.
So when I initially looked at this at the space, and it wasn't the space or anything, it was that area. If you know Bay Shore well enough, that area has always been a little bit
It's tough.
sketchy.
It's tough, yeah.
It's been rough.
Yeah.
So
The 7-Eleven especially. I remember stopping there a long time. What was on Union Boulevard? There was a bar there for a very long
the
time.
Funky Fish.
Oh yeah, the
Right.
Funky
Oh,
Fish.
okay, yeah.
I
Literally
saw
right-
some.
we're right next
awesome-
door.
Get the fuck out of here! You're right next
really
to Funky Fish.
next door.
Get out of here!
I heard about that in like high school.
Oh my god!
Jesus.
Do you know I saw the Scofflaws there, the Pilfers, ska bands were there all the time back in the day.
Is that why they're closed now? They had too many ska
Yeah,
bands down
probably,
there.
that's
Yeah.
right, that's right,
yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense.
But the Funky Fish was a great
They should have been
place.
closed for that.
They did all Asia show all the time, and it was awesome. And they had like a little, they had an upstairs spot, which is where we went every time. And their balcony you can see in the green room, and them just hanging out in the back playing pool. And then you could turn around, and on the other side you could watch the concert.
Was it all ages because no one would want to see that music if they were over the age of 21?
There's still people that go to a lot of ska shows. The band's releasing albums. Understand people are still making money on good music. Well orchestrated instrumental music.
What else do you sleep at night?
All right. So I sleep at night to ska music. No, I mean it was a staple for that area. That's awesome. You guys are setting up next door. I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, so that's
yeah.
exactly the spot. And again, it wasn't the actual location; it was more where the location is.
Yeah.
Right? So, and the entire strip. There's no businesses aside from the Valero that's on the corner and State Farm that's on the other corner.
Oh yeah.
In
Yeah.
between, nothing's there. Siam Lotus, the Thai restaurant, infamous Thai restaurant
Yeah.
that was there, unfortunately closed down.
Okay.
What was infamous about it?
Oh, it was a great Thai restaurant.
Oh
It
yeah.
was, and,
Not in a negative way.
up in,
story here? I don't know.
Up in
Triple murder.
You know, it was on Zagat's top 100, top 50, like for,
Yeah, it was-
for
it was well
years,
known, yeah.
many years. And,
They weren't cooking people there or anything. It was
No, no.
Okay.
It wasn't an underground dog ring in the basement.
Soylent
Straight
Green
out
or
Thai
anything like
food.
that.
Authentic Thai
Great Thai food.
people.
It really was.
But yeah, that's a good location.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
The
at
parking
first,
is good. You
I
got
was parking was another.
There's another issue with that?
Certain challenges came up with this location
yeah.
because initially, when you're looking at industrial locations,
yeah.
there's certain things that you have easy, like simple garage doors, and how are you going to receive deliveries? Here,
Right.
you had a complete storefront that has 2 doorways.
Yeah.
That's it. And one, that's because we were taking both locations.
Ah.
So
You're taking 2 storefronts.
Well,
yes,
it's-
it's 2
there's a left and
storefronts,
right
one
side of the
building.
building,
So
Okay.
we opted we need the whole building.
Yeah. yeah.
Okay.
So
Are you going to do like left side brewery, right side tasting room, or are you going to do front back?
you're right.
Well, it depends on which direction
Left
you're
or
facing.
right?
Left or right? Yeah. For some reason, I feel like everyone puts the brewery on the left.
East, west.
Yeah, but it comes. I mean, it seems like you would and just cut a doorway out and you're good to go, right? I mean,
Yeah, for the most part. that's
cold
pretty
box
much
on the
what we did,
left.
yeah.
You got the tap right through there, and then you're going right there. Someone talking to me?
I
I
just
did.
heard that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was.
that was you. No, my phone's in here. No one's talking to me. I don't know. If
It sounded like Siri.
it did sound like
did
Siri.
sound like
I didn't
Siri.
say "Hey Siri." No, say I didn't. Well, maybe.
So when you call her, she
Yeah.
doesn't respond. When
Well,
you say something like else,
Siri, I invite you to call into the show, 516-465-3990. I want to see if you're an actual real voiceover person that they've taken. Please give me a call, Siri.
so after that meeting, seeing the place, Brendan was definitely more for it right off the bat than I was. I had to do a serious amount of due diligence.
Yeah.
And as much as I trusted Bill to tell us everything that he mentioned it was happening, I was
Yeah.
like, I need to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So sure enough, after all that, I was like, all right, let's go for it.
Now, let's talk about the building itself. You say there's 2 doorways. Are you cutting a hole out? You going to put garage doors in? You going to put like a receiving section in to the brewery side?
So we're actually changing the front.
Okay.
We're making changes to the front. It was basically
2
a
windows.
vestibule with, you come in and you have a door on the right, door on the left.
Okay.
And that's how you used to go into each respective building,
Okay.
business. So, and there were just 2 windows in the front. So those 2 windows actually were opening up to actually doors, and the front is going to be the main entrance is going to be front and center in that, what was that vestibule.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when you guys are, I just totally
You hit the wrong button,
touched the
didn't
wrong button. Yeah, for sure. There we go. This is the Word with Mike Pete and Steve GubsRadio.com. Who do we got on the phone? Hello? Are you there, sir? This is the Word with Mike Pete and Steve GubsRadio.com. Are you there?
Hello, this is Steve Pominski calling you
Oh,
from
it's Steve.
City Field, where the Mets are winning against the Reds 3-1 in
There we go. We got a
inning.
score. That's all we cared about, Steve. Okay,
That's
thank
it.
you.
Nice. we were going to ask you that
Yeah,
first.
I knew that's all you wanted from me was the score,
Yeah.
and
Well, we all have
And,
phones. We can look it up.
actually, right now,
Yeah.
Steve is drinking a Dogfish Head 60-minute IPA.
Nice.
Those
I
dogfish was
know
like
you
the
would be
official.
interested in that. Sir.
I would be. I'm gonna, while you're talking and give us a little bit of information about what you're doing tonight. I'm gonna get off the phone with Instagram so we can play your intro really quick, because I know your time is limited with the Mets in the what inning are we in?
We're in the 6th inning. We're in the top of the 6th.
Okay.
Let's see what we got. We got 2 outs and a ball and a strike, and ground ball to the shortstop. Throw, and he's safe at first. Man, the bases are loaded for Cincinnati Reds.
Play by
Uh-oh.
play here.
How many outs?
There are 2 outs, sir. 2
Okay.
outs.
Okay, 2 outs. So who is Bassett still pitching?
Bassett is still in the game.
Not for long.
He is faltering in the. He's got 5 Ks, but he's faltering in the 6th. This should have been an easy out. He walked the guy, gave a base hit, and not looking good for Mr. Bassett.
Steve, how does Buck
we do-
Showalter feel with you being on your phone in the dugout?
Yeah.
When are you?
you know what?
Where are you in
Wait,
the batting
hold on.
order, Steve?
Buck. Hold on, Buck. Buck is okay. Buck says it's good. Buck says I'm okay. Especially only for the Wort. If it was something else, it
I would love
not
to get
been
Buck on the
okay.
show. It'd be amazing.
Yeah. You know what? Fucking Buck's an awesome guy. And wait, what? Oh yeah, he said we had got somebody coming up in the bullpen.
Okay.
He's using the bullpen phone to call
Yeah.
in.
The best part is that Buck is actually more than willing to let me drink 60-minute IPAs in the dugout.
I was going to
And
ask. That was
that-
my next question: is how is he letting these 60 minutes enter the bullpen, enter the dugout?
He is just the guy. He's that guy, man. He's that guy.
I saw a picture
you know, he's
online,
all about-
Steve, of Buck and Sam hanging out, sharing a few beers over at the facility. It was nice.
Actually, I think they're like best friends, and they hang out every so often. That's why. And foul ball.
Okay.
Down the
Listen, I'm
right
gonna
field
play
line.
your music, and then I want you to head on with your 3 questions for Brendan and David. Well, I might lose you for 2 seconds, but
Yeah.
here we go. Here's Steve's 3 questions intro.
Hey, you cool hep cats. Tonight, we bring you a very special presentation. 3 questions with our very own Steve Pominski. Yeah. Steve's questions. 3 questions from Steve. 3 questions. Steve's questions go.
Skilly-da. You there, Steve? There it is.
And just to let you know, Mets got out of that inning with a broken bat right to McNeil at second. Inning over. Mets coming up.
Woohoo.
And who do we got? We got McNeil. We got Naquin and Escobar coming up.
There you go.
In the
Tom, are we violating any MLB?
Yeah, play-by-play is illegal.
It's
If
illegal.
Wi-Fi's out.
Son of a bitch. I knew we were going to violate something.
Get out here.
Hey, that might be good exposure for us.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
I might get hit with a errant shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, it's a
Here it
T-shirt
comes.
launch time.
Oh, it's close to me. Close. Nope, I
All
don't
right,
got
so
it.
Steve is allegedly at the New York Mets game, just to throw it out there, and he might be just calling the game from his couch. We don't know, but he's having fun with it. All right, Steve, we got Brendan and David in the studio from Take Two Brewery. Give us the first question here.
All right. So, guys, the first question is going to be, and you can field it, whoever wants to field it first. What was that one beer that turned you on to craft beer? What was that one thing you said, oh, my God, I need more of this?
All right, so you got the question. It's hard.
I got
It's
that.
not hard to hear, but it's very noisy, as you know,
you go
Steven.
first. You go
The
first.
craft beer that first brought me to the craft beer scene.
You're like, this is what I need more of this. What is
Oh,
this?
shit, I didn't have
You know,
my
this isn't
thing
like
on. Sorry.
this isn't like Budweiser.
Sorry for
or
people
the-
watching at home.
You know what?
So the beer that definitely I need more of this, Dragon's Milk. Even though you can't have a lot of it, because
Dragon's
it's,
milk. That is the first.
that is,
not even close to anybody ever saying that.
No.
Dragon's Milk from New Holland Brewery.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. New
Wow.
Holland Brewery.
Did you hear that one, Steve?
I did. Even though it's being crazy here, the Met fans are insane right now, but I did hear that.
He self-censored himself.
I guess for me, there's not even a question of what beer it is. Like, it's Deschutes Black Butte Porter.
Oh,
okay.
you are a Porter fan.
That,
huh?
Very nice, very nice,
that
very
is that is
That is a
some
good one.
shit.
Tom, what about you? Tom's in studio, Steve.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
How nice and chill is it in the studio right now?
It was really hot to start the night because the air conditioners weren't on. But we're nice and chilly, and there's no water dripping from the ceiling tonight, which is amazing.
Nice, because right now we're sitting in the stands, and I have a thong on and pasties.
It's pea soup out there, folks.
Picks or it didn't happen, Steve.
There's no wind. I was hoping it would be a breeze. There's no breeze. The only breeze I'm getting is from my two cohorts that are next to me, Andrew and Steve, blowing on me, and that's
COVID breeze. Feel that COVID flavor.
Little breeze. All right. So
Question number two.
Question 2. What is your favorite style as of right now?
Is it Porter's, Brendan?
No, actually.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I still lean more toward like IPAs.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
He's
going to
great.
say,
Okay.
If I was back up in the Pacific Northwest, I'd be drinking Georgetown's Bodhisattva.
And is it a West Coast IPA?
I would prefer a West Coast.
Yeah,
but
me too.
I don't mind the hazies.
Yeah.
I like the hazies.
I like
too.
them both, but I mean, when I get a good West Coast, I'm like, that's what I want to drink all night. Like, that's the one I'm
Every once in a while, you need that.
Yeah.
You need a hot
Yeah,
punch
exactly.
in the teeth.
Yeah, exactly. David, what about you?
Pale Ale.
Pale ale.
The Pale Ales.
was-
The
which-
variety
that was a
of the
close
Pale
Yeah, I
Ales.
was
This
gonna
is
say,
such... The variety of the Pale Ales that you can make just a whole bunch of different types of flavors. You could get them fruity. You could get them somewhat soury, tart. Like so.
I like Dale's. I mean, believe it or not,
Yeah.
Dale's Pale Ale is delicious. And when you're drinking 15 beers in the hot sun, maybe like our buddy Steve is, besides the 60
That would
minutes.
happen.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Tom, what about you? What's your favorite style these days?
Love me a nice stout.
Ooh, still
it's
going stout.
Chocolate peanut butter or
Hashtag always stout season.
coffee or
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, I'm not that picky. Like, I'll try anything because it wasn't until the Great Beer Expo in 2018 that I even was introduced to this world.
You're a trisexual. You try anything.
I think that's non-binary at this point. It doesn't matter. What are you saying?
He's hearing things.
He's hearing things. Who are you hearing it from? Was it after your birthday or during your birthday?
What?
Oh, was it during your birthday party or after your birthday party?
Yeah.
That was a great time.
He
Shout out
is-
to Steve's wife putting that together.
Yeah, that
It
was a
great
lot of
time.
fun. Steve, are you enjoying your physics machine? Right before you ask question number 3, you enjoying the physics?
Oh man, let me tell you. Last night I had a couple of root and branches.
Yep.
I had a what did I put? Oh, I put the big tiny juicy from Fibro in that. I keep getting told that it's a fanboy beer because I'm a fanboy of Five Boroughs. But hey, I love it, and I'm going to continue to drink it as long as I can get it. So,
Hey, big shout out for Ivan from Myers Creek for coming down.
bro,
I can't talk.
it was so good to see Ivan.
I can't believe he
wait to get
came
back to
down.
Myers.
I was like,
Yeah.
I know that guy. I tapped
Yeah,
Pete. I'm
yeah.
like, dude, is that Ivan? Because we've never met in person. He was only on the show via Zoom. So I said, is that? He's like, I think so. I think it might be.
Yeah, it was,
So
it was so good to see him, and he definitely said, he goes, before any of us come up, just let him know, he'll set stuff up for us. They have the downstairs of the brewery is now open, which is a basically spirits bar.
Really? So they're doing spirits as well?
Oh shit! And the wave just went by me. That almost hurt a little bit. Wow. Hit me in the side of the head, but I'm good. I'm
All right.
good, guys. I'm still here.
You didn't lose a step. All right, go ahead and ask
what-
question number 3.
Number 3. All right, guys. What would be that one beer, and it could be from any time, anywhere, any place. What would be that one beer if you go into a bar or restaurant you would want to see on tap, other than something you brew?
I'm gonna let you start with that one because I gotta think.
That's definitely a stumper of a question.
that's a tough one.
That's a tough one. To pick one.
Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna repeat because I love the damn stuff and I can't get it out here. So just shoots Black Bean Porter.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, you just-
if I could have that every day, I'd be a happy camper. That's some damn. Good stuff.
Where would you find that? Can you get it at a local D or no?
No,
I was gonna say
You'd have to have someone
It's
ship
called
it out to you.
going back to my hometown and then
Yeah.
making sure my mom has a stock
Yeah.
in the fridge.
I'm taking a trip, Mom. We're coming home.
I'm coming home.
We're coming home.
Get some Deschutes.
Yeah,
All right?
I'm sure you can find someone online that can send that
I'm
out to
sure,
you.
yeah, I'm sure you can figure it
get
out.
anything you want online. That's for sure. He's in between innings. I guess the Mets didn't do anything. David, what do you got?
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah?
That's
I gave you
a
time. Come on,
tough
man.
one. That's a tough one. I mean, if I'd be saying something, I'd just be saying something to say something. To put something out.
Well, we do make you answer it or face the penalty of law.
All right, we'll give you another minute. Tom,
Yeah, there you go.
I guess Steve rephrased that question because I feel like in the past it was like, what's that one beer that is guaranteed to be on tap that you'll go for?
Well, yes. I think initially he was like, you walk into a restaurant. He set the scenario.
they have it on
right?
tap.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're
Because-
getting that beer every
So
time.
I feel like I constantly see like the Sierra Nevada like hazy little thing in a place that does not have a good craft selection, and that's how I end up drinking that
Right.
more often. But that doesn't mean if it's this fantasy land and I could have magical beer flow from it. In that case, not to whatever the phrase is for tooting horns for other people,
Right.
but I love the yada yada yada.
Yeah, there you go.
Fucking love it when they did that.
It's called brown nosing, Tom.
Yes, there you go. Not to kiss ass.
Blowing smoke.
Yeah, right. Sure.
Yeah,
Steve lost you there.
Smoking
He didn't hear you.
No.
He's too busy trying to catch T-shirts out of a T-shirt launcher.
When they did the collab with Spider Bite,
yeah,
I was like, I'll take 12.
yeah. Did you do Yada with Spider? Who was it? Did you did Yada with?
Yeah.
It was
Spider-Man.
it was Spider Bite. Yeah,
It was
Spider
all
Bite.
right. See, Tom's a fact checker. He's got everything
Yeah,
right.
we got a couple more coming up. One with Noble Savage,
Yeah.
and I was talking with John Frioli over at Dubco, and we might have a couple of more.
Mm.
That was a fucking nice play by McNeil over at Second. We got a couple of more collabs coming up with Dubco.
All right.
And And at my little soiree party that you boys were at, I was talking with Billy over at Nightmare, and we might have something with Nightmare coming.
Oh,
good Lord.
Boy.
Oh, my
It's
God.
going to be a 15% Lions, Tigers,
What?
Can you
Bears.
alert me 3 months in advance so I can prep my fucking liver?
We've already talked about doing 29%, but no.
That's great. So you're doing spirits now. I got it. I understand.
And by the way,
yeah.
I updated my, I try to keep up with these 3 questions, Steve, and my new one now.
Yeah. Oh, you have a
for
fourth?
that one beer I hope I could find on tap is from a Viking named Taruk. Back in the early 1200s, he did a mead, and I would like to see that on tap.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
So you've changed your own answer to your own questions.
I thought we were off mead. I think we were all off mead. Did we make that decision?
I thought we were finally off mead. Well, Steve, listen, enjoy the rest of the game. Appreciate you calling in. Anything you guys want to say to Steve
Actually,
before I let him go?
Steve, I just wanted to say, you're probably the best brewer on Long Island.
Well, I was. I do appreciate
See what
that,
happened there.
but yeah, it's past tense, and I'm just a fucking schmuck that calls in from a game at City Field. So there we go.
Allegedly.
But you know what, guys? I wish I could have been there because I haven't seen you guys in a while, and you guys have been trying to put this together for a while, and I hope it all works out again. Because you know what, Long Island should be a destination for really great beer, and that's all I hope you guys do is make some really fucking awesome beer that I could come in and drink with you guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And heck, we might even let you brew too.
Yeah.
And we could do that also.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All it takes is an
would look
email,
forward to that.
apparently.
A lot of
Holy
people
shit,
heard
there's
that.
a foul ball in my face! Oh, wait.
All right, buddy.
All right.
All right.
Enjoy the
Boys,
game.
good.
I'll talk to you.
Talk to you soon, Steve.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Steve Pominski of Barrage Brewing, formerly of Barrage Brewing on Long Island. And thanks a lot for calling in, buddy, and taking time out of your apparent alleged Met game to ask his segment. I appreciate that. So let's get into some beers, and I know we've already gotten into a beer, but I want to get a little bit about the facility first. What system are you guys going to have in there? Give us the size and the brewing capacity and all that other good stuff.
Just to throw a little shout out, it's like Alpha. We got our stuff from Alpha, which, honestly, right now it's like about half the brewers on Long Island are going through Alpha.
Thank you.
Which one's this one? Purple is
We are going
Lambs.
Bach.
Ah,
Yes.
Bach.
wow.
Yes, please.
You are hitting
Thank you.
Peter's
we
good
go.
side today. A little porter, a little Bach.
Yeah.
There we
Love
go.
the color. Love the color.
Alpha systems, yes,
Yeah,
are
Alpha system.
prevalent.
So we're going 7-barrel,
Okay.
and we have 315s and 37s.
Okay.
So
Wow. 315 and 37.
Yeah,
you
so
have six
stuff
tanks.
like this one. This is like an award-winning Bach. We'll probably be
This
making
the one you
15s.
guys had the award on the Instagram?
LABME.
Yeah.
We got second place overall.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's we called it. I was trying to come up with a fancy, funny name for it and everything, but it kind of named itself because we
Johann?
we
You should
we
call it
brewed it
Johann.
on
Johann Sebastian.
we brewed it on March 14th, 2020. So
March 15th, 2020.
March
Oh,
14th. So
maybe not a
March
pithy COVID
15th
name.
lockdown.
March
Bach?
15th, everything got shut down.
Yeah.
So whatever funny name I was going to come up with, it just went away. And
Just
it's
didn't feel
and I said,
right.
you know what, Bach up 6V.
There you
it's
go.
like we were high in the 6 feet apart thing, so I think it was a perfect name.
There you go.
So
So let's go back really quick to the ESB that you guys had first. Let's talk about that process. I feel like I'm not even on. What did you brew that on the current system? You have another system running still right now that you're brewing on? Like how's beer being made right now?
Yeah,
beer's
Being made.
Beer's being made. Right now, like when we first started with, especially EB.
Yeah.
I think this guy's. Yeah, I guess he did.
EB, sorry, not
he did the
ESB.
test. He did the stovetop one, right? The first time we made it, or do we do everything outside? I'm trying to remember if this went under a bigger system or not.
Okay.
But yeah, when we started, it was we were boiling shit in my kitchen.
Yep.
Pissing my wife off, trying not to make a mess in the stove.
Try not to let the whole house smell like a fucking brewery.
Oh no, forget it. They walk out the door. Seriously, are you brewing? We're going shopping for the day.
Funny story. So I told my wife and my kids, because I brewed in my house before and the whole house stunk, right? So I did the beer maker, I'm going to say probably like a week ago. And it does this vibration thing where it makes noise, right? In the first few stages of the brewing process. So my wife goes, "What's that? That's that noise. Is there something wrong?" I go, no, it's the beer maker downstairs. It's doing its thing. And my kids goes, you brewed again? I said, yeah. It doesn't smell in here. I go, no, it's beer maker. It's all sealed up and nice and clean. And you don't smell a thing. You just hear things. This
Put
one's
that
a
in
little
the
different. Yeah. Not going to smell anything. Sure going to hear it, though. But the cool thing about it is, and just to give them a little more props, you get to set times in which those vibrations.
Right.
So I have it from 8:30 in the morning to 10:30 at night, because the kids are usually going by like 10.
Right.
It won't really vibrate at 10:30. It doesn't wake anybody up in the morning. So then it'll vibrate all day, and then at night it shuts down and keeps temp and all that other good stuff. So it's an interesting system, an interesting setup, but you don't have all of that messiness that I made last time I brewed, and even worse with those extracts in the Mr. Beer kit. Those things stunk. They didn't even smell good.
No.
It was when you were putting it into the boil, you're like, ugh, it just smelled awful, no matter which one it was.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing that you guys are finally out of the house and not pissing off the family.
So we went through, we went like a good 3 or 4 years of that system.
And we went through both kitchens. We started off at my kitchen.
Got kicked out of one.
And then we got kicked out of that kitchen.
Moved over to my kitchen.
Yeah, we'll try again over here. No, honey, I'm fine. Everything's good. But yeah, I mean, it gets to be a process, and it gets to be time, and you're taking up, resources and everything else, and you got to have the right stuff.
The kitchen is down.
Yeah, that's
it.
You might as well order pizza because
you're functioning on gravity, and it's like. But I'd say about 2 years ago. I guess about 2 years ago.
No, I think it's more. I actually do believe this was actually brewed in the big system.
I think this was one.
Not 2 years ago, but yes.
No, but this one.
I'm saying the original.
The first time we made it, I think we just went right outside with it.
Yeah.
I went big right away.
And what'd you have at that time? What were you using?
Well, back then we were, like I said, we were just using stuff that we got from Adventures in Homebrew.
Oh, okay,
and,
all right.
And
kettles,
and then when I went,
regular kettles. It was,
and
it was the 3 kettle system
with the propane burners.
Well, no, that's what we upgraded to.
Ah,
we
okay.
upgraded again. Going back to my friend Scott Hampton Visuals, Spokane, Washington.
You said it was coming back.
Yeah, I told you it was coming back because he ended up selling us. He was originally going to open up his own brewery, and he had like a half barrel system that he was
out there.
Yeah, and some family stuff happened, and he just kind of like went away from it. But he had all the equipment sitting there, and again, on this message board, and I was kind of going back and forth about it, and and he said he'd be willing to sell it on the cheap. So I mean, for what we got, half barrel system, burners, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah,
20-gallon fermenter, and I mean,
that's a pretty good size. Yeah.
Everything, soup to nuts, $3,500, including
including
all the shipping. So
half barrel fermenter.
Half barrel.
Yeah, that's a good size.
So I mean, that's what we've been
double brew day. You're sitting pretty.
Oh yeah, we're doing stuff for the Craft Classic, and we're going to burn through all of them probably. But, but that's fine.
Yeah,
but that's the point. I hope that's the case because then you're drinking my beer.
Right.
So.
So what's you have the 3.7s, 3.15s, and the system, is it up and functional yet or no?
It's not functional.
Yeah.
It's all up. It's running.
It's plumbed.
Semi-plumbed.
Okay.
Semi-plumbed.
Semi-plumbed.
It's getting there. So we're at the point of getting gas supply over.
Okay.
Glycol supply. And once that's done...
I think he still has to run the line at the brew house, though.
Yeah, but that's like that's like in a
that's quick.
That's a day.
That's like a day.
In a day, like literally by the end of the week.
Yeah,
there's water.
How far out are you from doing that? Like, what's your target date for opening?
Interesting question.
We knew this question was going to come up.
So what's going to come up next week at the Craft Classic?
Of course it is.
Absolutely. So
or this weekend, right? Isn't it this weekend?
This weekend, yeah.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, actually,
I got to do some serious kegging and serious carving this week.
He's like, shit, I got work to do. Damn it, there's so much stuff to
This would be
do.
like
We
3
gotta
hours
go.
of carboning. But where
The
were we?
lines.
Oh, the line.
Oh,
yeah,
the
so-
lines.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're basically we're close. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's
By the end of the week, so the lines will be done. The date, I will tell you, there's no set date. It will
Right.
probably be sometime in the fall.
Okay.
yeah. If we
Interesting
gave you
enough-
a date, it would slip. That's why
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
giving you a day.
And interesting enough, today,
You're on Elon Musk's time.
Not that I'm superstitious.
Yeah, it's composite, so go underneath it. That's real wood.
Look at the real one.
today was probably the first time that I actually asked the plumber, when does he think?
Yeah.
What's his estimated timeline? Because
Yeah,
it all depends on
That
that.
yeah.
And then obviously whatever he needs and whatever obviously we may be holding him back on. But,
Now, are you waiting for more inspections as well?
well, yes.
Yeah,
The roughing inspection for the interior walls of plumbing, that's already been done and approved.
Okay.
Electrical roughing inspection still needs to be done.
Okay.
RPC,
And then once
RPC was approved.
RPC from Suffolk County Water, that
Yep.
was done. So electrical inspection, and then once actually electrical inspection done, then the framing inspection can be done. Then
Then
from the
drywall.
town, then drywall.
Now,
Then
you guys,
final.
before the show, we were talking, you mentioned something about lighting.
Yeah, lighting control. What
Lighting control.
what sort of
so
lighting
This is
control?
the first time we've heard of this.
This is yeah.
and we
this-
were like, I look
we've
at
heard
Pete and I go,
lots of
so
like,
many things.
The town's holding us up for this, or we had to wait on this.
This
from the
is
state.
so
What-
unique that I'm like, what the fuck could you possibly be holding up for lighting control for? What did they want from you? Is in the end, that's
So
Us to spend money on an engineer. I think that's about it.
That's-
on a
that makes sense.
mechanical engineer,
yeah.
which we had to do anyway.
Yeah, we had to do it
we
anyway.
had to do it anyway. So, in the process of getting the building permits,
Yeah.
we were waiting for their approval. The one thing that we kind of got hung up on was lighting controls. Part of the plans they requested was that they need, because of the New York State environmental codes,
Okay.
they wanted to make sure that there were set lighting controls in the facility.
Well,
What
is
that basically
yeah,
means.
what does that mean?
Beyond
though?
the light switch.
Like
I don't
dimmers?
know. God only
So
knows.
Pete, interesting enough, because when I was
Dimmer switches.
I was given
Timer-
that question,
time dimmer
I was
switches.
like, lighting control, yeah. I walk into a place, I open it up, I turn on the lights, I
There you
turn
go.
off the
It's
lights,
done.
and I leave.
Yeah,
Done.
what are you talking about here?
As you know, in many places you walk in now, you walk into a bathroom, the lights come on. That's considered lighting control.
Okay.
They want to make sure that you're not utilizing power or electric when it's not needed.
Okay.
So each individual room space needs specific
an occupancy
lighting.
sensor to trigger the
or
light.
or something
Or
within
timer. Or
timers,
whatever.
timing, when lights are going to go off outside, when they're going to come on. All those details
Now,
is something that
why?
the town.
Here's a question: why would they care if you're the one that's got to pay for it for being on for that amount of time?
Because it's part of environmental code. They
Right,
don't want
it's
anyone
part of-
abuse.
yeah.
Like,
It's environmental.
because
I
if you have the
understand
money to
that.
burn,
Yeah.
they don't want you to burn it.
I mean, you're paying for it, so isn't that I don't know.
No,
Right.
'cause
Even though it's coming out of someone
especially
else's
from a commercial
pocket.
space, that demand on the electrical grid for
Okay,
shits and giggles.
I get that idea that they want to
Yeah.
make sure that it's for the greater good
Yes.
of the grid. But when would environmental
Yeah.
care as much
Well,
about that?
where's that power coming from?
Well, I mean, I'm going to plug in my Tesla. I'm going to plug it in for more than 20 minutes, and it's going to
and
continue
what's
pull from
powering
the
the
grid.
battery powered car?
I get the electric that I plugged into
a
it.
fossil fuel powered.
That's true.
power
But,
plant.
all right. Besides that,
That's why it's part of environmental.
I agree with all that. I see where you're going with this. But again, is it a locality? Was it New York State?
I think it was New York State,
Well,
but
it
for
was
whatever
New
reason,
York
the
State,
town was kind of harping on it.
Huh.
And
So they're probably regulated from above them and then above them.
Correct.
Okay. all right.
Possibly,
So
yeah.
it's just kind of trickling down.
It's
to-
everyone doing their job because
Now, let me ask you this. So having the brew house running, that's going to be using electrical. Do you have to have like some sort of plan for what the draw is or what the kilowatt hours are on and your entire system?
I mean,
all that information is submitted.
It's part of all that.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's
They had
all
all
part of
that.
the plans. Yes.
Okay, so that I get, because you could be brewing in the middle of the night, electrical's running, things are moving, and it could be drawing. And not that you're worried about a light in the bathroom, like you were saying, but you're definitely more worried about the brew house itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, with that brew house set up on the left-hand side, you got a walk-in that you guys are planning. It's already pre-done. What was the plan for the kind of storage and things like that?
Oh yeah, no, all that had to be built out. So this location,
fresh build of a walk-in.
We literally the tasting room side was a physical therapy place.
physical therapy. Right, it was supposedly a physical therapy place over 10 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
Which been vacant all that time, and then from there the other location was an internet cafe, but not internet cafe that you're going to come and have a coffee.
Yeah.
One of those places that you go and you need internet access, so you can access internet access if you,
So you can
need to make phone
contact
calls
somebody down in South America or
internationally.
something.
Yeah,
like that.
okay.
Oh no, I get it. Yeah.
Wire transfers,
Right.
that kind of.
I got you. Just because of the location that's in.
If I want to access the dark web and I don't want it to be on my laptop, I get it. Totally.
You just want to write a bad Yelp review. You kind of want to do it on the know,
So,
using pseudonyms.
so between those two spots, you can imagine there's nothing suitable for a brewery.
Yeah,
It's-
So
So we needed to bring it down basically to its core of just
Complete gut job. Yeah.
the gut job. Yeah, complete gut job
that's-
is basically every structured wall is the only thing that stayed up. Pretty much, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how much?
We-
how
we-
big is the tasting room going to be once everything's framed up?
or what's the capacity? By
the capacity, I think
standard.
right now is
65?
65.
All right, so a good size, yeah.
Good size.
65.
We have a
and
backyard that we haven't done anything with yet.
Really?
we haven't brought into the plans,
And
but
we're
it
kinda
is.
hoping for
Yeah,
summer.
yeah. Let that-
we will be.
If you're opening in the fall, that's not the biggest concern.
Gives them time to make some money to afford to.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Upgrades
Yeah,
and things
yeah,
like that.
I mean, we're going to do some prep work either way, just to kind of
yeah.
kind of
Make it at least walkable.
walkable and have it ready. So when
Half-cracked lawn chairs and some crutches from the physical therapy place sticking out of the ground. You can make nice tomato plants out of those. Some basil to put in the beer.
yeah, but I think we hold out like probably a good 30 tons of trash out of
Holy
that place.
crap!
Just tearing down sheetrock, tearing down metal,
Yeah,
walls, just
it was
drop ceilings, you name it. I bled for that building more than once. He's bled for that building more than once.
And it's funny, Nick, before you said, "Oh, make the two spaces, just cut a wall in between, and boom, you're done."
Yeah.
When you said
That's
that
it.
before, I was like, "Oh, I wish it was like
Yeah.
that," because
Oh
I
my
thought the
God,
same way.
so much stuff that we so
When you
much
first
stuff that we
stumbled
went
upon the
through.
building, you're like, "Yes, this is the,
Perfect.
and then things
But,
change for
when-
sure."
When you're going through the process, I mean, you're learning tons.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
mean, in these past couple of years, between the architects, the engineers, everyone, you're learning a lot through the whole,
Oh, yeah.
especially building process.
And you, I mean,
I
part
know
of,
more about wastewater than I really care to want to know.
oh yeah.
Stole
How
my
is
life.
how is the town with that? Do you guys have sewers or are you
We're on
just
sewers.
Yeah.
And
Do you think that was a
top
better
sewer-
choice than those
that-
dry wells you were talking about?
In the end, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like you said, like you stole my line because I always say that too. Like I learned more about wastewater than I ever cared to know.
Yeah.
But the problem is now then you jump right out to Suffolk County at that point. It's
Right.
not even. It's not even the
Not in
town.
the town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that goes out
That's
to
county,
Bergen.
yep.
That goes to Bergen Point.
It
Yeah.
goes to Bergen
Yeah.
Point, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
They're very
basically,
concerned with what you're doing there.
and honestly,
Yeah.
like,
And rightfully
in fairness
so.
to them,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Suffolk County, they don't really know how we're any different than like it's Blue Point,
Right.
Even though we're like a fraction of the size,
Yeah. They
Yeah,
got
so-
treated as such because
we have treated such. Yeah, so like we have a 925 gallon holding tank for our gray water.
Okay.
Basically, anything we're producing with.
That's a pretty good
anything from the
size.
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, basically, we have to hold it there. Let the solids settle out.
Yep.
And do pH testing. And then once everything's
Now
kinda
is that on
cool-
you or is that on them to do
That's
that
on
testing?
us to do all
The-
that. And then,
Yeah,
but
all the
basically,
controlling is on
Yeah.
us.
originally they were going to come out and do it,
Oh.
but then they'd have to be on a call all the time.
And that,
like,
of course, costs money.
but to their credit, they actually went out and did some research and spent some money and tried to figure out how to do this stuff. So
Okay.
they're not going to put a lock on the thing,
holding
so
tank,
we
because
just
that's
have to
what
call them up
initially-
and say, like, listen, we did the testing. Here's where the levels are at. We're going to let it start running.
Okay.
And they'll monitor it and let us know.
Seems
Yeah,
a little more.
Which a little bit better than, like, can you come take the lock off so I can dump this shit so I can make my next batch?
Yeah, I'll be there in 2
Yeah,
weeks.
exactly.
Damn it, I
A
can't
week
do
from
it.
next Thursday.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I'm sure they got a lot like that. So Bayshore, the town itself, very open to having another brewery in the area. And again, you guys are in a spot not close to the other ones, so it probably brings a different aspect to that area.
Oh, absolutely. And the town of Islip, it was definitely, like, they were pretty much down with everything.
Good.
They really wanted, they want, I think you and I both agree, we're looking at Union Boulevard as kind of like, they really want to make that like a second Main Street.
It makes
And they're
natural
pushing hard for
progression, right? Everything that's been happening on Main Street,
apartments,
natural
the
progression,
hospital.
and everything that's being built
yeah.
out.
Some of
over
the
to
food
Union.
eateries and stuff like that. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It makes sense. They got some restaurants still on that row, right? I mean, there's still stuff around.
Not
West. I'm sorry, east of the hospital.
east of the hospital.
East of the
yeah.
hospital,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but I think that's going to turn around. I think a lot of people are waiting for us to open.
Yeah, there you go.
I hate to say it.
Now you got a
So-
restaurant and a place to go drink
Yeah,
afterwards.
exactly.
We
But-
have locations available next to us.
yeah, exactly. So
there you
any
go.
restaurant someone wants to go
maybe a
in,
new
we're
Thai
down with
place.
Yeah,
So-
a new Zagat rated top 10, top 100 Thai place. But that would again lend itself. Now, with a lot of breweries, you have to worry about food. Not really worry about it, but it is a concern. Something on the thing. Are you guys going to bring in food trucks? Are you going to have local source menus?
Local source restaurants.
Okay.
The idea is definitely, and we've already been speaking to some of the restaurants in Bayshore,
Okay.
and to be able to have a runner and be able to go pick up. If you go there, you order. Go pick
QR
up from
codes,
wherever you're,
make it- yeah.
wherever you
Mhm.
decided to order.
Yeah, I think that's a one of the newer trends, other than getting a food truck in there, just to have food on demand in a way. And people are cell phone savvy at
Yeah.
this point that they just go out and order
the-
what they
yeah,
want and
yeah.
have it delivered right to the table.
And the food trucks are a little tough because it's county road.
Yeah,
so you
and
really-
the limited
you're not supposed to
parking,
be
as you
parking
were
on the
saying
road
before, it's
without
going
a
to be
permit,
taking up
so-
space. So that is tough. Any ideas though? However, if you have a vacant spot, would you ever consider possibly expanding to a restaurant or a brew pub or something of that nature? Do you have anybody have any restaurant experience in the family? Keep it in the
No,
family.
not really.
No,
Damn it.
And honestly, like, we're not.
going to
Honestly,
food is
I'm kind of
awful.
hoping like he doesn't lease out the place next door. Because like
He's like,
'cause
David,
I'm
why did you
I'm
say
looking at the
that?
wall, going like, I just cut a hole right there, right there we go.
And that's what they would
They'll
do.
build up and dig down.
Who
They'll
did
dig
that? Who
down.
had the brewery where they just cut a hole in and they had the food just comes right through the wall?
Oh, I don't-
It was someplace that like we went and well, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's a cool idea. I think Threes does that in Brooklyn, but somebody else does that, and we were like, oh, that's a great idea. They don't have to own the licensing. Someone orders the food, you just go over to the window, and there it is, and right to your table. Great idea. That'd be cool, especially
I've
if it's
seen
something
it-
good.
yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
it out of state when I've been on
Yeah,
vacation.
yeah, I
and
don't
stuff.
think
Yeah.
I don't know if it was-
but I have seen
it's,
that.
It's just it's a lot more licensing and it becomes
Yeah.
a lot more steps.
And then the
to go
health
through.
department starts
Health-
stepping
yeah.
in and stuff like that.
You know, so
Well, it's a different business.
Yeah. Oh,
It's a restaurant business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to mix it myself. Let's talk about the beer. So let's go back to the EB
EB.
that we had. Let's break down the brewing process. I know we started talking about the system that you guys were brewing that on, but let's get into the nitty gritty. This was obviously something you guys tried on the smaller system, and now you're bringing it into the larger system. What was changed? What was made? Give us a little breakdown of that beer.
I mean, it's honestly it's like I said, it didn't really drift off too far from where it started. And a lot of early on when I was doing my recipes, I would kind of go through, look at different types of recipes for the same style.
Yeah.
And then start looking at the different types of grain, what I like, what I don't like, and so a lot of it just kind of got born out of that.
Was this one of the original recipes? Is it still
Oh yeah,
pretty close
I would
to that original
say
one?
It might have been the first one.
Really?
Yeah, I think it might have been the first one I ever did.
The OG, triple OG.
Yeah, it's now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, like I'd have to go back and look at the dates on it, but yeah, like
I
the
think
OG.
I think you're right. I think this
Under a
is
different name.
the original whole grain beer that we did, and
Yeah.
then we tweaked it a bit, and then what eventually
it's been
became
minor.
the final.
It's all, most of the changes have been minor changes, different types of grains.
What are you guys using for this one?
This one, you're gonna put me on the spot.
Yes,
don't
I
remember-
am.
I don't memorize this shit.
Bring up that little app
mean-
that's in the.
I know with this one, like on the 2-row side, I like to use Maris Otter because
Yeah.
it just gives you like a little lot more depth and flavor. Trying to think here on mostly like a lot of chocolate, a lot of special B.
And that's what I got a lot out of it. I was
Yeah.
waiting for the chocolate malt.
and special B is another one that I like to drop in there, and then special B is like a really kind of a cool grain to play with. I mean, it imparts a lot of dark, a lot of color.
Yeah.
So you can't use a lot of it, and you're not going to use it on something like this.
We don't get the like I was saying before.
This might actually have a little special B in it, but I'm not 100% sure.
It has that great copper look. This is the Bach that
This is
we're
Bach.
talking
This is
about. Give us a little breakdown about this. Delicious, by the way. It's what I would want out of a Bach.
Malty-sweetness. I like
Yes,
that. Yeah.
malty sweetness. Exactly.
Well, it's funny because like in certain styles, I'm like because I just the work separation. I'm
Shifting him down.
He's the business side more so than I am. He's actually a really good general contractor.
And I was gonna ask you that. I was gonna ask you that early on. I mean, you guys have obviously picked your roles pretty well in that you're on the brewing side.
Yeah,
You're more on the
yeah, I'm production.
licensing business stuff like that. I mean, was that something that you guys kind of figured out early on, or was it something that you guys decided on once you decided to open? What was the thought process on selecting your roles?
It was pretty early on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it
it
was-
kind of just.
I mean, we still brew together. It's not like he doesn't do anything. It's like, but,
I like.
it's
not like he just sits
it's
around
not
and
like
watches
just,
me.
yeah, actually, he's like the yin to my yang. Like he's like more like he's the guy that's like overly cleaning stuff. Whereas I'd be like I'll clean it, I'll make sure it's clean and workable.
Oh, yeah,
He's
no,
like
it's-
I'm going to go beyond cleaning, and I'm going to go to the next level cleaning, and then from there I'm going to go to the next level cleaning.
He's got the toothbrush.
But
and-
but it's good though. It's a good balance for us,
Yeah.
and it's. I wouldn't want to brew with anybody else other than him.
Aw,
except
that's
for
so nice.
except for maybe
Aw.
Steve, but he's not here to hear.
I'm glad he didn't name the brewery like Cousins or something like that.
no.
I mean, silly. A little too
No.
on the nose.
Though
But,
that name did come across. at
Did
one
it?
point.
Aw,
It
two
is,
cousins.
It was one of the ones, but
I'm glad you went with Take Two. And what's the meaning behind Take Two? Is just the two of you, or is it?
well, honestly,
Kind
yeah,
of,
partly.
yeah.
It was
Take
my
two-
wife. My wife was driving home from
Yep.
work, and she works in Freeport School District,
Is-
and she's driving home from work, and she's like, "Take two," and then because she thought about it, it's like it's like take two for it's two of us.
Yeah.
Take two in the sense of his take two in like our careers that were
Second act.
second act.
Yeah.
In
You
the
know, so-
movies. All right, cut.
And honestly, like
All
now,
right, take
now,
two.
like
Yeah.
now, like when we go to lease the first place and it falls through and go to the second one, it's
It was like,
it's like
take
take
two.
two.
Like
It's
literally.
everything. When we signed the lease, it was February 20th, 2020.
There you
February
go.
22nd, 2020. So I'm like, can you have any more twos in there? It's like, but I mean, our goal is that two that you see on our logo. I mean, I want that shit to be ubiquitous.
Right.
I want people to see that,
And that's the key.
I
yeah,
want to
it's-
see that
it's
two,
about the branding
that two
that
with that
comes
line through it.
Yeah.
Like I want people to look at it like I know exactly what that is.
Are you planning on canning? I mean, what's?
Yeah,
we're going
yeah.
to talk about that probably a little bit towards the end here, but the idea is obviously get the tasting room up and running, get the money moving, get things
Exactly.
upgraded, get to where you got to be, and then get to a certain point where then you can start distributing.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're
Yeah, it's going to be primarily all tasting room first.
Oh yeah.
Though we do have
Some kegs out to
some
restaurants,
and
Couple
bars that
restaurants.
have already.
I don't want to go too
interested,
crazy though, because
so-
I'd rather
Yeah,
keep
no,
the cash
keep it in house,
but-
right. And in the
Yep.
end, you want to build the brand and make the money in house rather than let everyone else
Yeah,
make
if
money.
I
on
sell
your
it to a
beer.
restaurant, I'm going to talk to my accountant about writing it off. 'Cause it's like it's advertising.
Yeah.
I mean, in a legit way.
If
it's
you could,
advertising.
you just give it away and then
Because you're breaking
Yeah,
even
you-
basically on that keg that you're selling now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
With the goal of
Yeah, you might make $100 on it
Yeah.
tops.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm selling the tasting room, I make $700 or $800.
Right.
It doesn't
Right.
make sense.
That's crazy margins when you think about it. It makes
That's
people
what
wonder
blew
why.
my
because
Paul
it-
Comsick when we
Yeah.
Paul was telling me about the previous occupant of his,
Fire Island.
and
We can say it.
and
Dan Moss, by the
Montero-
way, liked our video today, so he's still out and about. The real Dan Moss is still out there.
when when he was explaining to me like why he thinks business wise the Fire Island didn't do well, and he's
Yeah.
like, because you got to get a fucking tasting room.
Is it because they had merch before they had beer?
No,
they had the beer
That's
out.
not them. That's not them.
That's not them.
They had their beer. A lot of places they were in bars. You could go and I think
Yeah, sure.
I was at
local, like,
Southside
fucking
at my
Juntas,
house.
yeah.
You could go to.
you could get at plenty of places, but they never got the
I mean,
tasting room open. Where
The Red
on
Wagon
that,
Ale was good.
I liked
was
Lighthouse.
really
I
good
liked
beer.
it. Yeah, it was.
really good beer.
on selling a keg, like you're saying, you might make $100. Like if you're going to sell a
You're not
half
making
barrel
the
keg,
money.
for a couple $100, maybe it costs you $150 to produce that, but you could sell that same, then you can sell that beer 55 times,
Right.
Or no, like 150 times out of that half barrel keg, at
And make
$7,
a
$8 a pop.
much higher margin
Yeah,
on it.
your margins are huge on that.
Yeah.
Tom, what brewery were we referring to?
Long Beach, maybe then?
Nope.
Jones Beach.
Jones
Ah,
Beach.
That's
there
what
you
you're
go.
thinking.
Jones Beach had merch for like
long
3 or
time.
4 years. Listen, by the way, and shout out to the Mills
Mills
boys. Listen, when we had them on the show, year one of this show, because I was like, this is interesting. That's my thing. I like all the startups. That's love you guys coming on. I want to be the first to talk to you and find out that journey, because as you open and people get to go watch the show, they can hear about that story before they come into the tasting room. That was the goal. Most people, if you interview Other Half or interview Trillium, everyone already knows what the deal is. They know what they're getting. What the hell's the point of that? And I would love to do it, but still, it's not what our ethos was of our show. But this Jones Beach, when they gave us beer in that first year, it was stuff they were brewing in a firehouse, right? Now they are actually a legitimate brewery with a license and a brand and everything else. But that's almost.
Oh, they had a brand before.
No, they had a brand. All right, I'll give you that. I'm going to say 6 years. I'll cut the difference between 5 and 7. 6 years of people brewing beer and finally having a brewery. That is a long journey.
Oh, yeah.
Into where they are now. And they still don't have their own tasting room. They still don't have their own spot. But they're experimenting with what they were doing since day one, which was, get beer out there, get people to drink it. And that was their mission statement, was just like make beer that people would want to drink and get it out to the people that want to drink
beer.
it. Yeah, exactly. And what you guys are doing, exactly that, from your years inside of the Hand Grenade homebrew and now into your own spot, you're ready to explode. You have the Craft Classic coming up.
Yeah.
What are you guys going to pour over at the Craft Classic?
Well,
With any of the beers we had today?
you're gonna have one.
How many hazies?
You're gonna have
How
one.
many
many
hazies?
hazies?
You're gonna have one. It's our pale, which
Oh, we got to get to the pale if that's your favorite style, David.
But in fairness, I will tell you right now that when we were filling up the 32-ounce growler, it kicked. So
It's the back end of it?
yeah, it's
That's
the
all right.
back end
It's
of it.
That's right. I'll get
But
a taste of it.
It's not
But
going to
that
be
being
the
said, like,
premium.
But
pale ale.
we just brewed a batch of that, so that's ready to go.
Are you kegged out on it? Is that what it is for the Craft Classic?
That's what I'm going to keg
We-
this.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's
You're out on it.
I bet. Yeah. He's helping me with Tamarack on Friday. But the other one we're taking is Wicked Pissa.
Yes.
Which is our New England hazy.
Funny word. You're from, well, you have roots in the West Coast.
Yeah.
This is not a New England duo here. So where did Wicked Pissa come from? That's a very Boston type of thing.
Well, I figured like if I'm going to do New England IPA, when you think
Yeah.
of New England, I think of Boston.
All right.
Boston. From Boston.
Yeah.
And
Pocky
we
cat,
actually
happy
have,
yad.
we have a close friend. She's
come to the
actually
bar.
one of the investors in the brewery. She's from Rhode Island.
Oh.
So she kind of
Which,
helped.
by the way, people don't know. Rhode Island, people in Rhode Island.
Is in fact actually a state.
no, that's not where I'm going.
People are surprised to hear that.
It's
you
just
blink, you
it's
miss it.
small.
Just
because it's small.
It is a small list, but they have the strongest accent, even over people in Boston. I went to school up in New Hampshire, no accents.
Oh, yeah.
I know plenty of people that live in Boston. My good friend Mike, that I spent some time with at Greenport, and Mike and Jim and Eric, they all live up there. The accents aren't as thick as people in Rhode Island. Rhode Island seems to have the thickest New England accent that you can see or hear.
Her mom
gonna have to
definitely
take
has
notice
like
of
a
that.
pretty heavy accent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I might
She
be
did
going
hers.
in,
Hers isn't that bad, but yeah, her mom's like very heavy.
And it was
You knew she
people
was from Rhode Island.
trickling down from the Boston area, coming down into the shore.
They call it escaping.
Escaping Boston. You know when the big dig started, they were like, nah, we're out. Let's go to a place where this shit's not going on. But no, it was one of those things that I didn't realize, going up there so much, that there were thicker accents in Rhode Island. Not even the Cape, not northern Connecticut, not western Massachusetts, but Rhode Island. Those people have the thickest accents that you can think of for the New England style type.
Are you venturing that exotic locale
more
town?
isolated.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I might be going to Newport Brewery in Rhode Island, so I'll report back live. I'll give you some. I'll put them on speaker. We'll call in.
There you go.
My friend sounds. You sound like a bunch of assholes up here. Can you talk to the mic and say something?
Ask them what wicked pissa means, and they'll give you the full backstory. Actually, Norton went up to Newport.
That's where the Rainbow Room was.
Yes, that's what the Rainbow was. He brought down Hurricane IPA, delicious. Got to try that. It's a core brand from them, and the Blueberry Ale. They do a very good blueberry ale.
Does it taste like blueberries?
It does, but it's good.
Tastes like snozberries.
No, it's the schnozberries. No, it's more along the lines of an ale than the blueberry flavor. You're gonna get it, but it's on the back end, not on the front.
I just want to circle
I'll
back to
enjoy
that.
it.
Did
Yeah.
you ask if the blueberry ale tastes like blueberries? What the fuck would you expect it to taste like, Tom?
That's the joke. That's the joke. Is that you hate when someone tastes the beer and they're like,
What does it taste like?
It tastes a little bit too much blueberries. But what the fuck were you expecting when you ordered the blueberry beer?
This beer has too much beer flavor in it.
So the
Beer tastes too much like
Yeah, it was a Steve thing that this beer tasted too much like beer.
We had 14 Star on a couple episodes ago from Vermont, and I'm a big fan. I go up to Vermont like 4 or 5 times a year.
You talk about the maple syrup one?
And they have a maple syrup breakfast stout.
Yeah.
And like I fucking love Vermont maple syrup. Like that's nothing else is allowed in the fridge. That's just a fucking rule in the house.
He's punting it out the back door.
None of this Aunt Jemima bullshit.
That's not called that anymore.
That's Mrs. Butterworth. That other.
Nope, not allowed that anymore.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Old fucking Pearl Milling Company syrup.
Pearl Milling Company is correct. Yes, there you go.
Whatever.
Yeah.
None of that fucking brown sugar water. Only Vermont maple syrup.
Okay.
Canada's also not allowed.
All right.
I'm like, I want, they're from Vermont. It's a maple I want to like be smacked in the fucking face with a maple leaf. And just
It fell short.
It
that's
It did.
It
It
did.
did. But they even
it is not a bad beer.
They
It's a
admitted
good
that
beer,
it didn't.
But like,
hold
I
that
want
flavor.
like if the can is 16 ounces, I wanted like 4 ounces of it to be fucking maple syrup.
just dripping out.
By the way, that is my only complaint about this brewery.
Yeah.
Everything I've had from them is like world class.
Yeah.
They make outstanding fucking beer. But like again,
Well, it's. I mean, just speaking.
I will
from
get
the brewing
diabetes
sense-
from their fucking beer
Yeah.
with the maple syrup.
Yeah, speaking for the brewing sense, the tough part with that is that you're putting,
I'm sure it's
you're
a
putting
pain in the ass.
unadulterated sugars in.
Yeah.
What do you think the yeast is going to do?
An
It's gonna go
explosion in your basement.
Oh, sugar, yeah.
And,
So,
and
like, you
especially
start
that
eating it
syrup,
away.
they might have been like, yeah,
oh,
let
yeah.
me dig
By the
into
way,
these.
Could not have been happier to have that brewery on the show. That was such a like.
Pete came out of retirement
Oh,
for that.
man,
he
I
came out of
was-
retirement for you guys tonight too.
I was
By the
such a,
way,
like,
just to let you know, he heard you had a Bach
I was so happy about
and a
that.
porter, and he was excited.
They're
but
beers.
the idea is that when you market something that has that flavor, you want that
I
flavor.
wanted just like an assault of the senses of fucking maple syrup.
And I did not, and I loved it because I like
I know.
maple syrup, but I don't want it as the
Yeah, no, I
forefront
like-
of my beer.
That's all I wanted to
Gotta
taste.
set the.
I wanted
Right.
roasty,
And I was-
roasty
expectations.
chocolate notes and maple syrup.
Yeah, and it was good.
It was good. It was good.
And I think that's one of the challenges thing about a brewer, right? Because you would love that maple
And this is
syrup.
Yeah,
where this
this
is
is
the,
true.
the
Right, so
conversation
it's
that we
like-
had. Yeah, it was like I loved
We're-
it. He was let down by what it was said to be, but yet just take the moment to
Was the
enjoy what it
session-
is.
Their Pilsner was
And I think
amazing. That session
that's the
IPA
it's
was
a tough
insane.
thing. It's a tough mark to hit because the palates are just so different on top of that.
And
It's
Yelp
like-
is your worst friend. I mean, that's
yeah.
what it comes
Yeah,
down to. Because
yeah,
if
yeah.
someone were to review that, or Untapped is your worst
Untapped.
friend, to go and review that, I'm like, So for
I
instance,
don't do that shit.
Dubco's the sherbet, the milkshake
The orange,
IPA.
yeah.
So I expected way more of that sugary, like when you lick a sherbet, you're like, it's
You
like
can make
zing.
a float and pour it in some fucking.
You could, but my point being
This
is
is 14
that
Star calling to bitch me out. No.
this is the Wort with Mike Pete and Steve GubsRadio.com. Who do we got on the phone?
Hi, it's Tony from Tuscaloosa.
Oh, Tony from Farmingdale is on the line. How are you, sir?
Tuscaloosa.
How are you?
You don't have to say you're from Tuscaloosa. You could just say you're from Farmingdale.
I said Tuscaloosa.
But I'm telling you, I'm letting you know you're from Farmingdale. So what's going on, Tony?
Hey, this guy's voice is perfect for radio, you know.
I told David that. I said that. He knows.
Am I going to be getting like hiring calls?
You might be. You might
Just
be
update your LinkedIn profile right now. Dude.
Damn,
Available for voiceover
that
work.
hasn't been updated
Hey,
for
Mike.
quite some time.
Hi, Tony, go ahead. What's up?
Mike, you can't really hear you. I can't really hear you. You're very muffled. I'm being honest.
Who, me?
Yeah, it's like very, very low.
No, I'm not low. I hear myself clear as day here.
Maybe it's my phone then. So listen, I see that you brought the talent back, huh?
I brought Peter back in studio for a one-night special arrangement.
One night only, just for you.
I also
Braz.
brought a producer extraordinaire, Mr. Thomas Santiago, in studio as well.
Are you serious? I can't get that kid to come on my show.
It's Tony from Farmingdale. Go ahead, Tom. Say hello.
Can I curse it? I'm not on the curse, Michael.
That's okay.
You sound quite relaxed.
I asked him for a 5-minute
There we
Well, you riled him up. See what you did? You hit the beehive, and now he's... bzzz.
All right, how's everything?
You'd be sweating mayonnaise in this room right now.
That's so true. Everything's great, Tony. Everything's doing well, and everyone's good. How about you?
I'm doing really good, Michael. Thank you. I just want to say you've done, as usual, you really do have a hell of a show. And I know you're worldwide now and, doing really well, and I'm not. And I just want to thank you for putting me in this great position now.
I appreciate that, Tony. You are one of a kind, and
Yes.
you will always be part of this show, no matter what anybody says. What's the Mets score right now?
To be honest with you, Michael, one of my cars just lost its radio, so I'm driving without a radio. But I just did find WCBS, the app. They were winning 3-1.
He sounds like he's without a phone, for Christ's sake. It's terrible. Your phone connection sucks, and maybe that's why
What a
I sound
fall
like
from
shit.
grace.
I'm sorry. I'm moving around.
Okay. You're on a mobile device. I got
Are you
it.
sweating mayonnaise because you're moving around?
No, I'm not sweating mayonnaise. And don't talk to me because you won't return my phone call.
When the fuck did you call me?
I called you recently.
Yesterday.
The fuck you did? What do you want?
Tony from Farmingdale, are you going to be frequenting Take Two Brewery? It's going to open in Bayshore, right on Union Boulevard. Do you remember the Funky Fish?
Yes.
Yes, you do. I know you do.
How many grams of coke did you do in the Funky Fish bathroom?
He laughed.
You went right to the...
He laughed like yes, he was. Yes, he did. Yes, what? Say that again.
I said, maybe I didn't want everybody to know what I used to do in the past. I'm trying to...
Well, but we want to stick to the present. I got it, Tony.
Can I ask you something, Michael?
Yeah,
Didn't I meet this gentleman in studio? He's been on once before, hasn't he?
Yes.
That was a great
He's
guy.
been off for a few weeks, yes.
Shit.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
He's the guy that said he had a voice for porn. Right?
Oh, no. That was not Pete. That was somebody else.
This guy's got a voice for porn, too.
No. He has a voice for voiceovers like YouTube or Audible or something like that. It is excellent. We were saying that prior.
Hi, good evening. This is the Wort with Mike and Pete. We're going to look for a naked work tonight.
Oh, God.
Naked work. All right, listen. We have to let you go, sir. You're bringing nothing to the table.
Isn't that part for the course?
Yes, that is true. Good point. By the way, Naquin just tripled to deep right, and Canna and McNeil scored. It's now 5-1. Sir,
Nice.
go flip on 880. Listen to Randazzo. and enjoy the Mets run right now.
I'll see you at the next PTA meeting, Grass.
Tony from Farmingdale.
I love you. Wait, don't hang up on me. Thomas, call me. Say hello to Pominski. This guy's got a voice for porn. Michael.
Yes, sir.
One last thing. Do me a favor. Tell your buddy Mad Dog I need to speak to him in the next couple of weeks.
I'll send out the carrier pigeon to let him know. He's at the top of the Taconic, I hear. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to... He doesn't check his email. He doesn't get good service.
That guy is great.
All right, buddy.
See ya.
Bye, Grass.
That guy used to sign my checks.
So true. Damn. All right, getting back to it, you have a pail. I got to try this pail. I know it's the end of the keg. But while you're doing that, why don't you tell us a little bit about this pail? Because, David, I know you said this is what your favorite style is. I like pails as well. Let's break down what's going on here.
Okay. And again, because I'm the head brewer here. So
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, not so much David break it down, but like...
this one's my baby.
Okay.
Because, again, where did I grow up? Spokane, Washington is my hometown. So this is Tamarack.
Keep in mind this was the end of the...
Yeah. So it's a little it's usually
we'll
a lot
get the
clearer than
concept.
this.
We'll get the idea as we go along.
The flavor will be fine. It's
Yeah.
just, it looks like shit.
Yeah. Well, we used to call that the ass end of the beer, but that's fine.
But that being said, it's a bit of my homage to Spokane. One of the things it's called Tamarack Pale Ale.
Okay.
So Tamarack is like a type of pine tree that loses about a third of its needles every year, which is great. When you're in the Pacific Northwest, where it takes like a raccoon farting to start a fire.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you're basically just dropping like matchsticks on the ground, and so it basically. Oh yeah, me. Yeah, I probably want some. So the downside to Tamarack needles is they run about 8-10 inches long minimum.
Yeah.
Sometimes longer. If you get a good bunch of them and you got leather gloves on and you go to grab them to put them in a bag, they'll go right through the leather gloves and you start cursing like a sailor because it's like going right. If it's going through your glove, it's going into your hand.
Yeah.
They're really that bad, huh?
They're just you just strengthen them and you're just like it's like poking yourself with a knife. So I hated the damn things, but it eluded Spokane. Like that's like that Pacific Northwest to me is like that's what drew me up there. And so like when I was thinking about it, I said like, what, how am I gonna do an homage to this a little bit? So part of it was like throw a little white wheat in there, because Washington State produces a sixth of the world's wheat. I threw in Cascade because the Cascade range is right there. I go low hanging fruit.
Makes sense.
And then the last hop I used was Idaho 7. And if you know anything about Washington State,
Not Idaho 8.
No, not
Definitely not that garbage.
If you know anything about Washington State,
North 6.
Spokane sits on the
Seven.
far east side. In fact, I would go over there and buy alcohol because I turned 19 before the law, before it changed to 21. So I would go to Idaho to buy alcohol.
Yeah.
When it was literally right next door. It's like a 15-20 minute drive from my.
Is it in
my mom's
the
house.
middle finger of Idaho? That's something.
Yeah, they like to call it the panhandle, but the finger works too.
Yeah.
Is that the part of
middle finger
Is
of
that part
Idaho.
of Washington that's looking to get incorporated with Idaho?
Is that what they want to do?
Yes, there are a few wackos out there like that.
Right.
Not, but most of Spokane's pretty cool.
It's
Okay.
it's a tip of the finger.
Yeah.
Tip of the finger, right on the Canadian border.
Well, I believe me, I have. There's not enough time. Like the stories I have up in
Is there a single road that hits Canada and comes right through that finger? It's
I
gotta
don't
be
really. I
something
never
there.
really drove up that way. I mean, I've driven up like on the Washington side of the border.
It's only like 300 miles wide, right? It's not even that.
No, it's not that far off.
You
I mean,
look at it, it
you-
looks
you-
tiny, but it's still 300 miles, a couple hours across, and you.
You could drive
Idaho,
through
like
it
the
and skip it.
Panhandle.
The Panhandle.
the Panhandle. I can be across in like an hour.
Really?
Hour and a half. Yeah.
Oh,
it's not
I
that
thought it was a
long.
little further than that.
No,
All
no,
right.
no. It's like hell. By the time you're in Coeur d'Alene, you're about a third of the way through.
And you're in Wyoming, right?
Yeah.
Wyoming's right on the other side.
Montana's on the other
Montana.
side.
That was it, right?
So, but then like Idaho, like I said, so Idaho, like we just see a hops like that, and then of course the Idaho 7 gives you a lot of like the piney
Yeah.
smell. And,
Yeah.
And so like to me like that was just like a perfect homage because it's just like it defined kind of like what I wanted out of a beer. And the other thing is you go out there and you talk to people, and especially the Pacific Northwest. You go into a brewery, for the most part.
Yeah.
If you don't have a good pale, not an IPA. If
Yeah.
you have a good pale
ale.
they're done with you. they're like
You're dead to me.
If you can't do that, then they're moving on. It's like like they want like a good crushable, drinkable beer.
Yep.
That they can go in and varying levels of alcohol content. This is a little high, but
What is this? What does this come in at?
Too high.
too high.
I'm not familiar with that term.
I believe it's called
8.
too high.
Is it over 7?
It's an 8.
Oh,
It's an 8
8.
pale ale?
For
Yeah.
a pale ale.
Holy
it's
shit!
an ale.
It's an imperial. pale ale.
Wow! I'm not getting that from this, but maybe because of
It's
what it
Florida.
is. But
Yeah.
You don't.
you don't.
Oh, you don't.
That
No.
sneaks up on you.
It does. It sneaks up.
Oh
on you.
boy!
Right now,
Believe me,
the,
I've
That's
had a few-
something special, though.
right
that's
now the
interesting.
only thing you're getting from this is color-wise.
Yeah.
Is definitely not to our preference.
Right.
So
I mean, yeah, like if I were to go back like about 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
yeah, I would have poured it out of the same keg. It'd have been crystal clear.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful beer.
Yeah, yeah.
When it's right.
I mean, the flavors there. It's not
Yeah,
like
it's-
over the top on any realm, but I get no heat, no nothing from it. That's
No,
interesting.
No,
Yeah.
it's a highly drinkable beer.
Yeah.
And it's like it's definitely like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That we make. And I just feel like it's going to be it won't be as high like
and the
this last
feedback.
one's like
I promise it.
It's like
I would like that though,
But what-
Thomas. You would love
and-
that, right? Freaking 8% pale ale. Woo!
I mean, at Craft Classic,
the
it's
higher the
probably
percent,
we're
the
gonna be
better.
a smidge
Yeah.
under 8.
Okay.
I think we're gonna be like 7.5,
Yeah.
7.5,
Yeah.
7.
That's
7.
not bad though for a good pale ale.
So interesting. Thomas just said, the higher the percentage, the better.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting enough, this weekend, Brendan and I were talking, and we were saying on how I was definitely one to always chase ABV.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Always. The
That's
higher the
like I said
alcohol-
at F and Groovin. I still remember that fucking high octane.
Yeah.
That had to be over I think it had to be over 7 or 8% to make it on the list.
So it's interesting as time has gone on. It's
Oh, yeah.
not so much now about chasing.
I hit
the
now. It's like the
ABV.
other end of the spectrum. We went to
Yeah.
Jack's Abbey a few years ago,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and I'm like, oh my god, they have a 2% beer.
These
That
guys
sounds awesome.
they fell all over themselves. They're like, yes. Dude, I'm like, might as well just get fucking Heineken Zero. Like, what are you guys doing?
So yeah, interesting enough.
But it was
we-
cheap as
we-
shit,
we
though.
were
I will say
talking-
that.
I-
It was like $8
have
for
you
a
been to
750.
Jack's Abbey?
No, I have not.
Phenomenal spot.
Yeah.
Their beers are
Springfield, Massachusetts.
fantastic. All lagers. They're excellent. They have really good food. They
Yep.
have a just a cool spot, and all of their beer is cheap.
Yeah.
You know, like in,
It
when
is
you're
very
thinking
cheap
of
comparative.
like 20, 26, 28, $32 4-packs from from Treehouse or Trillium, you go there and like a $15 4-pack or
Well, not just that. They have the special reserve bottles.
Yeah,
that were like
lager wines,
$6, $750s. It was ridiculous. We all walked out of with
if you're
huge
going
trays
to
of
be up in
bottles.
the area, for sure make a stop. They
had sours, they had lagers, they had pilsners,
so much
they
good
had all
stuff.
sorts
Everything
of shit.
is lagered.
It was crazy.
Shipping up to Boston is great.
Yeah, it was some good ones.
Interesting.
But
Definitely
the
gonna
concept
try that.
was that the styles that they had did not match the ABVs.
Yes.
And we were like, wow, that's interesting. And then they also have Springfield,
Right. Yeah. For the
and then they have
Ales.
for the ales and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
IPAs and stuff like that. And then they have Jack's Abbey, which is all lagers.
So where
So-
were you with the ABV?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So in our conversation this past weekend, I've certainly taken a change. Like it's not so much about chasing the ABV and getting it at as high as possible. And even with Tamarack, we were talking about maybe we should lower this ABV. A lot of the feedback that
problem is
we
it's a damn
did
good
get
beer.
from the festivals was they loved the beer.
Yeah.
They couldn't believe it was 8% because they're not getting it in the taste.
I feel like in a festival environment though that's skewed a little bit. You're getting a lot of those
want
people
the
like
ABV.
I want like
Correct.
Give me your 10%. You know,
Right. From
lager.
being on the other side of the counter, yeah,
Yes.
I definitely remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
Like
You know what, if I'm getting
10%, like give me that.
Yeah.
If I'm getting 2-ounce pours, I want to make sure.
Yes.
getting my-
I want to get my
Maximizing
drunk
my
on
potential.
as fast as I can.
Well, yeah,
from this shot glass.
From being a consumer on the other end of that table, I was like looking for ABVs. But you're right. When I go into a tasting room and I'm looking for something that's drinkable over time, for instance, this past weekend, I drank session IPAs for
Love
the
it.
first 3 or 4 hours because I wanted to continue drinking, but I don't want to be stumbling out of there at 8%.
Right.
I wanted 5.4, 6,
Oh, yeah,
6,
to be
2,
fair,
whatever.
we were both stumbling out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way,
Yeah,
we did.
yeah,
we did.
yeah, that-
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you'll stumble out of there no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
You can try hard enough, right?
I mean, the what else do we have left?
Oh, we got one more? Oh, we
do. One
we
more
got
left.
plenty of time. I got nowhere to go. And
Oh yeah.
Pete's
But
only going to go home to
just-
sleeping kids. So at
Just
this
so you
point.
know, like,
God willing.
so my friend Scott Hampton.
Oh, okay. There we
go.
Goes like, sorry to hear that David is leaving to start his career as broadcasting and voiceover.
Yeah, see, Scott, I'm telling you, he's got a future. There's something there. He's
Hey,
got
when
that.
Morgan Freeman finally retires
In a world.
in a world,
Well, he could be the new
you ever see that
Shawshank
movie?
Redemption 2.
there was a movie in a world
What do we have left?
Yes,
all
there
about
is.
voiceovers.
This
Yes.
is now the second movie you've
wait.
asked me if I've seen that I have
Written,
not.
directed, and starred Lake Bell, who is drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, she's from Orderlies or
Any
or-
relation to Drake?
What was the
Bell?
one with that was on
Sure.
Comedy Central? What was the one that was on Comedy Central about the people in the hospital?
Two left.
Oh God, I don't know.
Yeah, she was on that.
Mad TV?
No. It was with they were all. God damn it.
Oh,
I got-
Scrubs. Scrubs.
No.
If it's
no,
Comedy
no.
Central and they're in a hospital and it's not Scrubs,
No, it was. You know it by
Children's
Scrubs is
Hospital.
Scrubs.
Children's Hospital.
That was on comedy. That was
It was
on
Comedy
Cartoon
Central?
Network.
Adult
Cartoon
Swim.
Network.
Adult Swim.
That's what it was.
Glasses,
right.
gents.
She was on
Yes,
that
please.
for sure.
Uh,
So wait.
so just to be
we
clear,
have 2 beers.
We have
have some
two
2 beers.
beers.
Jesus
So,
Christ! All right, we're going back to old school, Pete. It's like you and I back together again.
Oh, I gotta drive home.
So this is
Yeah, you'll be fine.
this is our red ale.
This
Ooh.
I'm still working.
You are
on-
hitting all the things that I mean. I love a red ale, but this is
We haven't had a fucking hazy yet.
Yeah.
I mean, great.
you like your.
Well, you got to go to
hazes.
Craft Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
The next one is not going to be a hazy.
Okay. Here.
The last one
Actually,
we're finishing on the stout.
it's going to go to milk stout.
Oh, there you go. See, hitting all the.
What was? Oh, man.
What?
I'm trying to think of another brewery that didn't hit like a sour
Well, I think,
or
you know the
A
thing-
sour and
coffee
IPA.
stout or an IPA.
It's tough to find.
You know, it's like like people do kind of like ask
Santa
like
Mauritius.
what the brewing style is.
Maybe.
You know, like where do I gravitate?
Merch's Field.
And Richardsfield. I want to go out there actually.
Yeah, it's good. You'll
Nice
like
little
it.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like, there's a couple things like stuff like this, like
Yeah.
the Bach and the Irish Red. I'm a traditionalist with those.
Yeah.
Like certain styles, I want to look at and say, like, you know what, I want to get as close to that style. And that Bach, it really felt like I kind of hit that mark. This one, I hit the mark. It's just the color's not quite right. It's like I can't find a good red grain. That just-
Yeah, I was
that-
gonna say
that
a little
gives you that
darker,
red.
but
I want a little more reddish
Okay.
tone to it. I'm going to switch out.
is the flavor there?
The flavor's there. The
Yeah.
flavor's there. Yeah. Like, and I'm still going to use it. Like, it's going to be a red.
Oh yeah, the flavor's there for sure.
Yeah, but it's like I want to get a little. I just want something that's going to impart a little more red.
Yeah.
And I've read everything of like the Irish, the red grain I'm using right now. I've read online.
Just doesn't hit the marks. Yeah.
People just say like he just doesn't impart the red. So I'm
right
switching.
color,
Like
yeah.
Wireman makes like a Red X
Oh yeah.
that supposedly pushes a lot more red.
Wireman makes a great malt. I think a lot of brewers use Wireman, so
Yeah.
you might be better off.
Yeah, like well
In the next batch.
The next batch I'm gonna because I figure it's it's basically the same grain. It's just I want to get a little more color out
Yeah.
of it.
Sure.
So beyond that, it's like it's pretty solid beer. And
What else goes into this? What kind of hops are we using for this one?
honestly, like that one, like an Irish Red, I'd really kind of like. I think it's East Kent. That's it. I don't go
Like
crazy.
a very
I
mild,
like,
noble hop.
super mild. Yeah, just an old noble hop. I really didn't want to go too crazy with it. Just because I felt like it was one of those
Not 30
beers
pounds of Motueka or anything.
No.
That's good.
No, like,
That's good.
And the funny thing is, like, you know, like the next beer I want to make, but now
Yeah. Sorry, you got me. you don't want like a juicy hazy with fucking red ale. Sorry, I didn't.
I want stone fruit and pineapple notes in my red ale. please.
Dragon
No.
fruit. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of, like I said, like a lot of this was just like trying to shoot for traditional.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, like, it depends on the style. Like lagers, you know, it's like I could make like a really good simple lager.
But it's
you
all
know.
it's all
And
time.
you should.
And I do want to, but I want to do it my own way. Like there's like I treat it like a lager and an IPA kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Which is like I just want to have fun with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's not like neither style is like 100% set in stone, and whereas like I think like a Bach, you know, like you have a traditional sense of what it should be, like a Mars and same thing. Like
Yeah.
a lot of those traditional styles. Yeah, I want to try to brew more traditional, and I want to try to get as close to the mark as I can. But like a lager, you know, I'll start dry hopping that shit, and then like I really don't care.
That,
It's
yeah,
like,
I mean, there's
like, I wanna
so many
play with
different
it.
style, you know, so many different types of lagers, and you can get away with, you know.
yeah. I mean, hell, this is that Bach is technically a lager. I mean,
Yeah.
you're lagering it. You know, but like I said, like
Dry hop pilsner.
dry hop. You know, do stuff that I'm not supposed to do with a lager. I'll do it.
Plenty of
I
people
don't
are doing
care.
that. That's,
As long as I don't
yeah.
go too crazy, it's like you try to like there's a lager I want to make, but I don't have the time right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm too busy. You know.
Well, and
Doing
that
work.
brings me to one of my many questions that I still have stored up in this brain right now. You guys are opening, let's say, in a few months, at most. What are you doing to stockpile for that opening weekend or opening week or whatever it is? Are you looking to do all those traditionals, or are you trying to kind of diversify the portfolio as you get into
It's
that?
going to be
that opening day?
the plan is like the first 8 are pretty diverse portfolio.
You have 8 taps.
Yeah, well, ultimately we're going to have 14, but I'm going to build
14.
up to that.
Wow.
So on a true grit, like we've got so many different groups of people that
Oh,
you know, we're probably going to have about 6 different openings.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's going to be
You have
like
your soft sauce off.
There's
There's
gonna
like
be
super
several-
soft, like there's
Super soft.
super soft private, you know, openings.
Family only.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the
That's a
first
good one.
one. The first one's going to be family trades, you know, and people like that. People that-
Brewers,
yeah,
the homebrew
brewers,
guys, yeah.
Actually, I think with homebrewers and hand grenades, we want to do a whole one just for them
Nice.
because it's just been instrumental for us.
And then
know.
you have the other 2 brew clubs too. So
yeah,
it's
that,
like,
want to bring them in as
between-
well. You know, so it's like I think the homebrewers. I mean, that's think about it. Like, you know, South Shore.
Mm-hmm.
That's a homebrewers and hand grenades.
Yeah.
Six Harbors,
Yeah.
homebrewers and hand grenades. Motion Craft, it's homebrewers and hand grenades.
And look how and just to kind of toot your horn a little bit, look how successful all those guys are.
Yeah.
They came up through the ranks. They did everything by the book. They did everything in the steps that most brewers, even the older class brewers, would appreciate. You know, you've taken those steps to kind of establish yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And not to mention, like, you know, we all know each other, so it's like you know, somebody needs help, have a question. We would not be where we are without Mark.
Yeah.
Up at Six Harbors. I mean, we would not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, he's helped us in so many.
Shout out to
different-
Mark. Six
It's
Harbors.
one.
Yeah, he kinda-
No,
I'm telling you,
absolutely.
like,
And you know what? To all the brewers out there, for all the paying forward that they've done
Oh, absolutely.
between Larry, Chris, I mean everyone.
Yeah.
Like they've.
Six
Oh, yeah.
Harbors hosted a festival recently.
Oh yeah,
the-
we were talking about Gold Coast.
Yeah,
before.
the Gold Coast.
Gold Coast.
Beer
Which is
Festival.
a great idea.
How was that? And it looked. I mean, you know, we saw the promotion online. It looked amazing. The lineup looked really, really good.
Yeah, it was a solid event. I mean,
Harborhead was up there.
Harborhead.
Harborhead.
Harborhead was right next to us.
I feel like we need to catch up with them.
Yep.
We had them on year 2, I think, right?
I think we had
makes
like
great
Harborhead,
beer.
Cowboy.
Will is the brewer there?
yeah.
I could talk to Will about beer
Yeah.
for fucking hours.
Yeah.
Great
that guy.
dude.
Yeah.
Great
Great.
Ghost, Great South Bay.
Yeah.
Great. Was Great South Bay there?
Yeah. With
I guess
Ghost.
yeah.
Yeah.
With
Oh, Ghost
yeah.
was definitely there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Po' Boy was right next to us.
Yeah,
Oh.
Gold Coast. Yeah.
Trying to think, like it was a good lineup.
We're
Yeah.
definitely leaving a couple.
I feel
people
like
out.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm leaving
Oyster Bay.
Oyster Bay, I don't think was there. No.
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 I don't know if they'd be considered the Gold Coast in.
Well, I mean, Christ, we're not Gold Coast. We're like South Shore.
But still, I mean, the idea was to have as many of those North Shore breweries as possible.
I think his goal was just to like
Garvey's
just
Point.
Have a good beer.
Gar-
Yeah,
Garvey's
Garvey's
Point.
Point. Yeah.
Garvey's
Point.
Point. Yeah.
Mark and the boys
Yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Blindback, Garvey's Point, Ghost,
Blindback,
Harborhead, Old Tappin', Oyster
Tappin'.
Bay,
Old
That's right.
Tappin'.
God damn it.
Thank you.
Po' Boy,
Yep.
Port Jeff, Sand City, Six Harbors, and Take Two.
Hey,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, one of these is not like the other.
They're all open, but you will be soon.
Hey.
You'll be soon.
Oh, and not a brewer, but American Mule.
American Mule was there.
Okay.
So-
What was it, like a mixed
They're
cocktail kind of
the
place?
mixed cocktails, yeah.
But it was
Interesting stuff.
It was a nice event. I mean, it was ironically the week before we had done Whales Ales and Salty Tales.
Oh, I heard that was very good too. Yeah,
That was that's a really cool event.
Yeah.
You know, and usually they have home brewers there, but they had some issues.
Yeah.
I mean, but they didn't have home brewers there this time, but
The Gold Coast event was it was a good event.
Yeah, it
I
was a
mean,
great event. It
and
was like-
and for year one, for it being planned out, it was great.
yeah, it was really
They're
well
they're
done.
actually looking, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not misquoting anyone, they're looking to move the venue to a larger spot.
nice. Yeah, and then
so
just
they-
have
they-
everyone.
They want to get it big.
Yeah. That'll be a good one. I
Yeah,
mean,
it-
it's like
It's a fundraiser on top of that.
Bats and Brews
Yeah.
is still that underground. Like brewers love that event. If
Yeah.
Gold Coast can have that kind of nostalgia to it.
Although it was funny, by the end of the night we had like the four guys, like we're calling them the golfing buddies. Like they just basically just camped out right in front of our tent. And like, just keep filling me up. Just keep
Yeah.
filling me up.
Well, they like the classic.
Well, they
the
were
lineup.
actually they were hunting the Irish Red.
Irish Red.
The only problem is we had it on tap inside with Mark.
Ah,
I had to
which
go in
was
and
for the
grab,
VIP
a
crowd.
picture every once in a while.
There you go. You gotta get that VIP ticket.
Exactly.
Talk to me about what your plans are for that opening day, like the public opening day lineup. What would you like to see on tap? What are you gonna have? What's the stock? You don't want to have grand opening, grand closing.
Bach. I mean,
Yeah.
Bach is definitely going to be there. Wicked Piss is definitely going to be there, which, people, if you, like I said, go out to Craft Classic,
Yep.
give it a
EB.
try. Let's see, Tamarack, obviously. There's no way I'm not. I mean, I keep a crap like on tap in my house. Like, I'm actually kind of jonesing because I'm like, I might have to like steal like a half a keg because like I can't like not have it in
We
my
call that
house.
bogarting.
Exactly. I
You
got
don't wanna
I
bogart
got to
it.
bogart at least one keg for myself.
Yeah, there you go.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And so the Tamarack.
Are you considering any of these like the core system? Is that what you want to keep on tap all the time? Completely in the schedule on the
We're-
rotation?
Some
probably
stuff,
probably Tamarack, Wicked Pissa, or
Yeah.
probably EB.
Although something like
Big D's, which is the oatmeal milk stout, which
Ah.
we'll be able to taste.
I think we're gonna have to do
Saving the
that
best
after the
for
show. We
last.
are way over time, but that's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And
But,
those are definitely
yeah.
cores, and then everything else.
I think
Yeah.
there's something like Wicked Piss. I do want to. It's a good beer. It's a really good beer.
and then keep
and-
in mind that we have ideas with so many different recipes that we haven't even been able
Yeah.
to try yet
Because
that
of just the
Just
the
on time,
tank
like,
space.
we're-
yeah, I
we're-
mean,
time.
We're demolition experts.
and right now, right?
I mean, if you look at your
I could tear down a wall like
Yeah.
really good, really good.
there's no crowbar that can't get in my way. Some bitch. I want to give you guys an opportunity because we're gonna hang out. We're gonna throw on Instagram some post game stuff. How about that? We'll do a post show wrap up, exclusive to Instagram. We'll do that. But I want to give you an opportunity through the various channels to give the big plug on Take Two. Give everybody the information, the social media contacts, the location, all of that good stuff, so people can kind of follow along and be ready for when you guys open.
Okay.
I'm going to take this.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Head business guy.
Hold on.
I'm gonna
He's
probably-
like Mr. Anti-social media.
I'm gonna
maybe I
probably
should take it
segue over to some items over for you to
Oh yeah, that's
some
fine.
points
That's fine.
that you need to.
Social media.
The social media ones, right? That's exactly. You see, you knew.
I know,
I-
exactly.
If you want somebody for social media, I can give you a freelance person that can do some marketing for
I
you.
actually have a marketer, my daughter.
All right, good. Yeah, there you go. See?
That's right.
She busts my chops when I actually
That's right.
do
You said that
something
to
on
us
my own.
before the show.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
there's someone that we got. All right, good. So go for it.
So, Take Two Brewery, we're looking to open sometime
Fall.
in the fall. Yes. And trust me, that's the infamous question that we get from everyone. And every time we set a timeline, we blow through it. But this time around, fall, I think is a really realistic time frame. We're going to be at 1676 Union Boulevard in Bayshore, directly across the street from the LIRR train station.
Feel free to stumble across.
It's a great location.
Feel free. Yep.
Coming home from Cass Fest, Blue Point, on the way to Babylon.
Oh yeah.
Stop
Take
off.
One more. We'll make one extra
Oh,
stop.
yeah.
One
Why
extra
not?
stop.
One stop away.
Oh boy.
Make it your Take Two stop.
There you go. Wow. See, that could work in many different facets. Marketing is a good
Believe me, we
idea.
That is true. Trust me, all those Take Two means of working the marketing scheme is.
We got millions of them.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to having everyone over, taste our beer, have our beer, enjoy it. We're making it out for pretty much everyone. And trust me, the taste buds there's not one beer made for every single individual. So we try to diversify the whole beer scheme, and hopefully you guys will be there, enjoy it, and partake in our whole venture.
Bingo. And check them out on Take Two Brewery, or is it just Take Two?
Take2brewery.com.
Yeah, take2brewery.com.
You can also get us on Facebook.
Yep.
And we're on
Instagram.
on the gram.
Yeah.
On the
On the gram.
And come stop by Craft Classic this weekend, right?
Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Absolutely,
Stop by, see us at Craft Classic, because I think you're going to get two really solid beers.
Yeah.
At least, if not more.
At least
we have backups.
We may
Ooh, little
bring-
treats. I
We
hear
may bring a
treats
little
coming
treat
out.
somewhere. Yeah, like we may grab a.
Oh. Couple things here and there.
Yeah, well, this is what you're drinking right now. We might bring a little cake.
Oh, a little red.
Irish Red.
Excellent.
We never even told you the name.
Uh-oh. Redheaded stepchild?
No.
All right.
Lamps, the Cosmic Slaughter.
Wow.
Oh.
There you go. Great Odin's beard. Brandon, David, thank you very much for being on the show
Thanks, guys.
tonight.
Thank you.
Been a
Thank
lot
you.
of fun.
Yep.
Check them out at the Craft Classic again on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the other good stuff. Take Two Brewery. And we wish you the best on the opening, and let us know when you're opening. We'll be
Absolutely.
there. I'll bring Steve down.
Absolutely.
I'll handcuff him to me. I'll
absolutely.
make him, and he'll want to come down. Trust me.
Yeah.
Really appreciate everyone for calling in. Of course, Steve Pominski live from the alleged Met game tonight, and of course our buddy
Tony
Tom
from Topeka?
No, fuck Tony from Topeka. Thanks to Tom, our producer, for sitting in tonight and hanging out and sharing in. I really miss you, buddy.
Thanks for having me, as always. It's a
course.
pleasure. Love
This
being
is
here.
The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. Check us out on all of your favorite podcast venues. That includes things like the Hopped Up Network. We love the Hopped Up Network. iTunes, Spotify, iHeart Network, Amazon Music. Anything else?
YouTube?
No. I just mean anything else from you.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, what do you mean, no? Come on.
He is speechless.
Do you need me to say it,
He's
Pete?
speechless.
Don't forget to have your pet spayed or neutered.
This is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. And we out.
Well, that's 2 hours of your life that you'll never get back.
Are you kidding me?
Please hang up and try again. This has been The Wort on Govs Radio. I hope you're drunk enough.